Welcome back to Nerd Church. As we enter the second phase, our party finds themselves in the camp of the Yokogawai cell, seated next to their new companion, Les Moonsliver. Thank you. The group is prepared for an impending attack from the Blades, and without much warning, things start to happen. First, you hear a call that has been prearranged, a relatively quiet signal from the lookout, who is perched high up above the canyon. A signal that tells you that one of Podham's light traps has been tripped at the bottom of the canyon, and something is moving down there. Shortly after that, you hear the loud cries of men in pain as a pit trap located at the bottom of the canyon ensnares one of the Blades that is making their way up under the cover of darkness. And then, a moment later, you hear what sounds like buffeting wind, and then a sharp, piercing cry like a loud eagle, as descending from above you into the box canyon from the sky. There you go.
Oh no, Gabe's way too excited.
Is a mounted soldier on Griffinback, who, with his companion, descends rapidly into the open area of the box canyon.
Where's the, where do we...
So I would like, let's do some layout here. You all are on that end. That,
is the entrance?
Katie's end of the table is where the entrance of the box canyon is. So I want you all to position yourselves over there, somewhere on that half of the... What? Yeah, I have an Oreo. Go ahead.
Do you have the castle walls?
Yes.
Castle wall?
Yes. Somewhere on that half, please. And we'll work out the distances for these other guys in a moment. Oh, that's not where my castle walls are. We're going to do a couple quick sort of rolls and math to figure out how many people you're actually facing. And then we will fast forward to the point at which the remaining forces charge up the slope and engage you and the Yokogawai.
Yes. You have one more of those staircases, or is that it?
That's it.
Should we just know that there are two?
Just pull that. And so we'll just know that that's the entry.
Okay.
Shoop.
So just use a little bit of imagination there. And then there's going to be one more.
So back there is the camp.
Oh, the camp is
This
here.
is the camp.
It's all
Okay.
the camp, yeah. So the camp has been basically broken down at this point for use as part of your barricade, which we will also look at here in just a little bit once the fight gets to that point. I don't have a perfect Les Moonsliver, so this... actually, this should probably be you, since it's actually a drow, but this will be Les for our purposes today, and it'll be our friend Les.
Cool.
I actually never finished painting that one. It's an alchemist.
It's not
Oh,
funny.
nice. So you're upsetting Alex.
Don't upset Alex.
So, swooping down into the landscape here.
It's me.
You see
Was that you?
a mounted soldier on Griffinback and another over here. They are swooping low. However, it is dark in here, and and as you decided not to light fires, they are not swooping in directly at you. They're swooping in and trying to get the lay of the land and looking around. Meanwhile, the remaining soldiers are charging up the canyon. So a couple things are going to happen. I'm going to do some math here.
Good luck.
So, first, we're going to figure out of the total troops how many
Love it.
die to your traps or are killed or injured and unable to make it into the box canyon.
None.
So,
No.
Alex,
Yeah.
you were primarily responsible for these traps. I'd like you to roll a 1d6, please.
Did a 1.
Whose side are you on anyway? Oh,
Right.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember whose side.
Yeah.
3.
3. All right. Three of the attacking blades do not make it up the slope, and then we're going to roll one more d6. This is going to be less.
Yeah.
It's another 3. So the other thing that you hear at the bottom of the slope is the sounds of combat, as a few folks who were called in to help arrive. You can't see them, but the lookout calls from his position, "Some help's arrived! They've engaged the enemy! Prepare yourselves!"
Come on.
There's not a lot of people down there, but they have sprung an attack from the flank and taken out 3 more of the blades.
I am going to hold an action until the second lantern halfway up, or the second light springs, and then I'm going to cast grease on this open area here.
Okay. Very good. Now we're gonna find out. So, well, let's do one more thing. Roll a d4 for me.
I also sort of intended that grease spot to be like Emily's little bottleneck, to be that last little like sharp upward glance. So anyway,
You don't get to roll the d4, Alex.
But I did a 2.
I know, it's really cool.
And he only got a 1.
I only got a 1.
Okay. Well,
Should use mine. It's a death
Definitely.
one.
Gabe, step on this.
Stick this in your cheek.
still
That is.
still
my.
You
pretty.
can't bring it onto a plane. That's
You
still-
can't bring that on a plane. This is a cantrip as well, or a caltrop as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna find out.
How many rebels make it?
So that does slow their approach, and one of the Imperial blades is actually caught on that grease and falls and hits his head on a rock and does not get back up. The grease trap slows the incoming blades long enough to give all of you one round of opportunity here against the Griffin riders that are attacking. So I'm going to give you a choice. You can either take one literal combat round against them, or you can collectively tell me something you're going to do to either delay, disrupt, or redirect them. So if you want to straight up engage both Griffin riders in combat, you can do that and just start a fight with them if you want to kind of take them on yourself. Or if there's something else creative you want to do, you've got a moment to act here.
How many troops are just right outside of these walls?
It's hard for you to tell, but
15. Is it?
it's hard for you to tell, but probably around 10.
Knew it.
It's dark and you're not staring down the canyon
Sure.
necessarily right now with full light, so you can see at least 10 bodies continuing to make their way up the slope.
I think Potom will release the rock slide walls that they put in place.
Okay? All right, so that is your action. What are the rest of you doing?
Can I ask, does this mean they're in the air?
That's right.
Okay.
So we're just doing a round of combat, or is that?
You have a
That's-
single action you can take. So
Yeah.
that can either be a round of combat, if there's a combat action you want to take, or you can tell me something else that you're going to do for this. You basically have the grease trap slowed the advance long enough to buy you a moment, a
Mhm.
beat to do something before you're engaged on two sides.
Gotcha. Can I cast a spell?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Armor of Agathis
Okay.
on myself.
Very good. Do it. You can also reposition yourself if you want to be in a different
that's
spot.
what I think I'm gonna do.
This is the
actually.
very real location where you all are right now. So if there's
You
a
wanna be
different
somewhere
spot
else.
you want to be, you have a moment.
I'm gonna come down here to kind of bait the griffins.
Okay. Are you going to like
Na, 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 na,
verbally?
boo,
All right.
boo.
So you're making a scene of yourself to try to draw their
Right
attention
here.
to you.
You still,
Yeah.
have, still have a javelin you could throw.
No,
I want you to
don't.
make-
I threw it at him last time.
I would like you to make either a performance or a persuasion check.
I'll make a persuasion check. Here, let's go.
I think you
Come
should
and
make
get
a
me.
Yeah,
performance
here
check.
we got
10.
if I can see, 15 plus 3, 18.
Okay.
Aw.
That will definitely draw some attention.
Mm-hmm.
Panda, what are you up to? Please tell me.
I have a question on absorb elements. Is that a reaction? Like someone,
I-
like a mage
Yeah.
comes at me and then I react?
It's a
not like
reaction.
Yeah,
threat?
that's a
Okay.
reaction. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
Thank
someone
you.
throws a fireball at
One
you and
R.
you're like, I'm gonna
That's what that
suck
means?
some
Yeah.
of that up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
Action, bonus action, reaction.
That's what this is?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any spells to cast. So,
Well, you can do stuff. Like if you have an
Entangle?
idea about
No.
that's what I was going to do. That's why I asked if they were in the sky though, because mine won't
Oh.
work if they're in the if
Right.
they're in the air.
Of course.
I am.
Flaming sphere. That sounds whatever that is. I don't even
I
know.
know it's 60 feet though, which
Flaming
I
Sphere
think
is
is
a good one. The thing about Flaming Sphere is it rolls around on the ground.
right. And
So-
these guys are all
It wouldn't be a terrible thing to roll down the cliff into a bunch of blades.
Oh.
Don't.
That,
But am I
some
close
of which
enough?
are greasy.
That's
Sure.
my question.
Yeah, you're close enough that you're well within 60 feet of the top of the cliff.
Okay, so we're still going the same thing that these are 5? Like 5. Okay.
I mean, you could set the grease on fire in there too. With that.
I could. It'll catch fire as it goes downhill, anyways, right? And I don't have to move from where I am.
Nope.
Let's do that. I haven't used
But
that one
it's,
yet.
wait a second, so we're on
Yeah.
the same page here. So, the box canyon is the entrance to the box canyon, but it goes this way.
Goes that way and down.
We're in the camp.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is outside the box canyon. No, this is
This is
the
the
camp
canyon. This is the walkway.
Imagine
Oh,
that.
okay. So this really. So
Imagine
okay.
that
So the blades are actually
these-
coming from this side.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was
We have
flipped.
these
Yeah,
guys.
but the
Oh.
griffins have,
flown into
as a
it.
Yeah.
surprise,
Gotcha.
have flown in
Yeah.
to try to attack from behind.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But the majority of the
Blades would be
forces are
coming from this
charging
way.
up
Mhm.
this
Gotcha. My
tight
mistake.
canyon.
Okay.
Mhm.
There are a lot of things I don't understand in the notes of this flaming spear, but if I'm within 60 feet, then I can cast that.
You can basically make it appear where you want, anywhere
Okay.
within 60 feet.
Okay. And not
And
hurt
then-
Potom.
Your bonus action for future,
Yeah.
for this round and for future rounds, can be to make it move. So you can
cool
you could make
spell.
it up. It's
It
a really cool
is.
spell. So
I
you
haven't
could
known where to use it.
basically like a imagine a fiery beach ball about this size appears in anywhere you point within 60 feet,
Okay.
and then with your bonus action you can make it roll in a direction for a certain amount of distance every turn. You can either move it into a position or you can make it literally ram into somebody. If it does that, it attacks basically and
Right.
it does damage. If it doesn't though, if they start their turn next to it, or sorry, if they end their turn next to it, so if they don't move away from it on their turn, then they get burned just like if it ran into them. So it can be used to kind of herd creatures in certain directions, or if they're trapped in a place where they can't move,
Yeah.
you can just put it up next to them and it burns them every turn, or you can literally just ram people with it.
I wouldn't do that.
It's a pretty useful combat spell. But for this purpose, you could make it just appear where you can see right there at the top of the canyon, and make it start to roll down.
And then there's already grease, right?
This-
Flammable grease.
Well, you don't know if it's flammable. I guess we'll have to think about that. But there is a bunch of grease down there.
Okay. Can I roll to see if it's flammable? Because I'm going to throw a flaming spear at it.
All right. So I don't know if I have a flaming sphere mini, but I think just
Dunce cap.
yeah. How about just this red
Yes.
deal for now? That can
Perfect.
be our placeholder. So a ball of fire appears at the top
Oh,
of the
yeah.
canyon, sort of wisps out of Pando's hand and grows as it moves, and then you're rolling it down the hill. Very good.
Do I need to roll for like the damage or the effect?
You don't need to do anything yet. We're
Okay.
just setting things in motion.
Perfect.
So, so here's some of the things that are going to happen. First, you're collapsing the rock wall.
Mm-hmm.
What that is going to do is it is going to change. It's going to lessen the number of blades that your party directly engages. It's going to slow the attack. So, what did I do? We're going to do this. You want to roll this for me? Roll a d10. This is how many blades? 7. Roll a d4 for me, please.
That's how many blades were what?
Roll D4.
D7 or
D4.
sorry, D4.
It's the illusion of choice.
3.
3. Okay. So 4 Imperial blades make it up to the top here and charge forward to engage your party. The others, if you could place these sort of at the entrance of the box canyon for me, please.
I need a place.
It's fine. You can sit right there. That's fine. The others are going to eventually make it up, and they are being engaged by the Yokogawai, who have been tactically placed by the rest of you. In addition to that, a single robed figure levitates over. I'm not going to put another levitation thing, but we just throw him behind those blades. He is levitating about 4 or 5 feet off the ground and making his way right past a lot of these ground-based traps that you've set up. And then finally, right next to, and slightly lower than because he's on the ground, what is obviously an officer of the Blade Squad is driving his troop up. Thank you for that, Alex. Driving his troop up the slope. So, the grease trap has slowed quite a few. The griffins are both drawn to your sort of taunting battle cry and are making a beeline for you. Your armor of Agathis takes shape as you prepare for combat. And last but not least, this flaming sphere starts to hurtle down the slope. It does ignite the grease, which is going to do some damage to the troops that are left behind who are engaged with the rebels. So that will give the rebels a slight advantage in their first combat roll. And I'm going to say you can pick one creature except the mage down there who will take direct damage from this spell on this turn. So you can pick one of the 4 blades or the captain.
The captain.
Okay. What does the spell say your damage is for Flaming Sphere?
2d6.
And do they get to save?
I think they get a dexterity save.
14.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
Blade?
half damage or something.
He does not save. So roll 2d6 fire damage against the blade cap.
8.
8 damage. All right. Now, let's roll initiative.
Eight.
You don't need to roll initiative.
12.
All right. Freya with a 12.
18.
Pando with an 18.
12.
Air with a 12.
10.
Potom with a 10.
The mediocrity.
And Les Moonsliver with a 12. That means, Pando, you will act first.
Oh, but why don't the monsters keep turning?
He's so disappointed.
You're going to get to do lots of damage. Just be patient.
Yeah.
Pando, you get to act first.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you can move your flaming sphere as a bonus action. So that can be at the start of your turn, the end of your turn, anytime.
Mm-hmm.
But it is your bonus action to move it if you choose to.
Yeah, and then there's also a note about how a creature ends their turn within. Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you can either position it somewhere where you hope people will kind of be stuck with it, or you
Mhm.
can smash it into them. It's up to you.
So I can position it at that entrance, so that anyone who would want to come through would have to contend with
So
it.
what I'm going to say is, and it's maybe what we do. How about this? Let's shift everything like 5 squares this way,
Okay.
just so we have some
Extra space.
canyon to work with. What I'm going to say is that
I don't wanna
to do what you did, you rolled it past this group.
Okay.
So those 4 blades, the captain and the mage, are now, they're past the flaming sphere.
The 4 blades and the captain are past the flaming sphere.
That's right.
Okay.
So the captain took damage as it rolled down,
Mhm.
but the idea of the first round here was that your flaming sphere helped the rebels who are fighting now
Sure.
in the
Sure.
with the remaining blades, because not all the blades have made it up here.
Right.
You all are fighting some of them.
And then there
The rest of
happens
them
to
are
be,
in battle.
what, 10 feet of fire right here. Because
Yep.
that's where the grease pit is.
Right.
Where did that other mage go that floated down?
It's just the
Oh.
one mage, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they were floating down from the other.
So,
Okay.
what are you up to, Pando?
So, do I have permission to bring that flaming sphere a little bit closer to the entrance
I don't know
to
if
make
On the mage?
like this? And I realize they've gotten past it, but like to make a massive fire.
You can roll it
Area?
back up towards them if you want.
That's what I'm thinking, and just make
There's
it
only
like
5 foot across, so it can basically run into one of them.
right, but it can hang out there then, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to roll it back.
How
up.
far can it move?
It can move.
If you click on like the name of the spell,
This guy.
it'll like give you like a hole right up there.
20-foot radius, 20 feet.
It's
As a
both-
bonus action, you can move the sphere up to 30 feet.
Okay, yeah. So you can move it 6 squares to wherever you please.
Okay. Sorry for my reach. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I wanted it like in conjunction with this.
Sure. And put it right there. All right, so you're basically moving it up. As it's rolling back, the various blades kind of jump out of the way, but you basically put it back in the gap between in front of you. All right, so that's your bonus action. You still have an action and a movement.
So I was going to move toward. I have a 90-foot range to do entangle and hold them all where they are by the fire.
Is Entangle a concentration spell?
Yeah. As the
Concentration up to 1 minute.
If you cast Entangle, your flaming sphere will disappear.
Oh.
Cannot maintain
But our grease
concentration.
fire is still there.
Can't
So-
maintain concentration on 2 spells at once.
Okay.
that's
you
what
have to
that
make a
diamond with a
choice.
C means. Just
Thank you.
for quicker reference.
So because the grease fire is still there, can I let it go and hold everyone there?
Do whatever you want.
That's what I want to do.
Okay. So you're casting Entangle. Read
Yeah.
the spell description if you would, please.
Yeah. So, grasping weeds and vines sprout from the ground in a 20-foot square, starting from a point within range for the duration. 90-foot range, 20-foot area.
Okay. So a 20-foot square, you will be able to get all 4 of them and the captain. The mage is above, so it will not
Spellcasters.
affect that dude. I don't really have a good way to visualize the entangle, so we'll just use our memories
Okay.
to know that that's happening.
And do I actually have to hit cast next to it?
You do, yeah, so that it burns a spell
Right.
slot. Hey Wes, why are we doing that right now? Okay. Gabe, will you please take your plate upstairs if you're done with that?
Hey,
It'll
Gabe.
be your turn in a minute.
Hey, Gabe. Will you also take this for me? Thank you.
Thanks. Wes, you can help too.
So I hit cast.
Good.
And
Okay.
I'm assuming damage. I don't know.
So,
For-
what's the actual effect of entangle?
Restrained.
Here, yeah, click up the description there.
A creature restrained by the plant can use its action to make a strength check against your spell save DC. On a success, it frees itself.
Okay, so all these guys get to make a strength check initially,
14.
I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. These blades are not very strong, so let's see. Blade, oops, D20 is what I want, not a D12. That wouldn't have been. 14 is your spell DC. All right, blade 1 fails. Blade 2 fails. Blade 3 fails. Blade
Ooh.
4 fails. Blade Captain succeeds.
Almost hit us.
So all 4 blades are caught up in. You see unnaturally fast-growing vines and undergrowth burst up in the area where these blades are moving, and the vines wrap around their legs and shoulders and create basically a hedge that they are almost immediately stuck inside, completely stopping their
Like
movement.
Griffin's wings goes around his eyes, like oof.
Oh yeah, oof, woof.
Wolf.
He said oof.
The captain, however, yells in frustration, shoulders down, and muscles through to the far side, not entrapped. But you have completely restrained the other 4. They're unable to move when they do get a turn. Also, fun fact, the vines and underbrush and stuff immediately start to catch fire. We'll deal with that in a little bit.
Well, that must be.
Do you want to move at all on your turn, Pando, or are you comfortable where
Nope.
you are?
Comfortable
Well,
where I
that
am.
must be
Okay.
full inside.
It very well could
Probably
be.
a little bit.
All right, that's Pando's turn. It is now the Griffin Rider's turn. So, Gabe the Griffin,
Yeah.
what is your plan? This is you up here.
I attacked that dragonborn right there.
Okay, yeah, you have
going for it.
definitely drawn the attention of these griffins. So, you have lots of movement available to you to get there. So you are going to swoop down and attack. You have a multi-attack, so first roll for your beak attack. It's a +6.
Yeah, 19.
19 does hit, I believe. So let's roll your damage.
7.
7 plus 4 is 11 points of piercing damage.
Oi. I haven't even had a chance to rage
You
yet.
have not yet raged, so you're going to take all of that. Then, Griffin Rider, you get to attack with your claws. Plus 6,
20.
a natural 20. This is going to be bad. Roll
this
that,
is fun, guys.
roll that twice.
5.
7
For the rest of the day.
plus
Chilly.
12 is 19, plus 4 is 23 points of slashing damage.
Well, I'm on the ground.
So poor. Just do you mind me asking mechanically the swooping? So they're in the air, they swoop down and attack, and then they swoop away. All in. Is that something?
Well, in this case, so the idea is the Griffin has 90 feet of flight speed,
Okay.
so is able to 80. So is able to move here. Then this is 15. That's 15 feet of movement to get down here and attack,
And then it leaves.
and then it flies back. Now normally you'd get an attack of
Okay, that was my
opportunity as it
question,
flies
but-
away, But in this case, you are unconscious.
Got
so
it. I am
you will
unconscious.
not get an attack of opportunity in that case. And so the griffin is back up. This griffin, whose turn it now is, seeing that the creature that taunted it is unavailable, is going to move here and is going to attack Pando.
I say to the griffin, sorry.
Sorry.
5.
I believe that's probably going to miss. That is an 11 to hit Pando.
Thank God.
All right, now
Right.
claws. And that's even worse. That's a 10 to hit. So some misses there for
Thanks, Gabe.
Pando. That's the griffins. This griffin is going to swoop back to about here. Air, you're up.
Okay, but no attack of opportunity there because it was.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Pando, you could take an attack of opportunity here if you want. It's just a
Don't.
melee attack.
Mm-hmm.
It is your
Or-
reaction.
I was gonna say though, yeah, or you would have had the opportunity to do a reaction instead of just attacking. You could like cast your spell that you were talking about earlier, right? Oh,
No,
the
she's
absorb elements. Oh,
concentrating.
never mind.
That's absorb
Never
element,
mind.
so it would
Right.
Yeah, never mind.
And she's concentrating on.
Yep.
Well, she could still do it. It's not. I don't think absorb elements is a concentration spell, but
But I can't do like a cantrip at this point.
no, you need a special feat to do that.
Okay.
It's called Warcaster. But you can still take a swipe at this griffin with whatever melee weapon you have in your hand, which you kind of might as well.
Sure. I don't even know what I have.
I don't know, you have to go to actions.
A mace.
Yeah.
Take a
All
swing.
right.
Smack it.
Take a swing with your mace.
Oh, do hit first.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Can I still do it or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Four.
That does miss. So the griffin gets away without a scratch. Air, it's your turn.
feel like
Okay.
Kinda like threw it at him. Or like smacked
I
him.
don't like birds.
Oh god.
Air's Air recognizes the threat the Griffin Riders pose here. Air's going to move there-ish.
Can we do something that I think is fair?
Yeah.
It feels to me like if Freya was taunting two griffins,
She would have raged.
she would have, since rage is a bonus action,
Yeah.
and you taunted as your action, that
Okay.
you probably would have rage. Does that
Okay.
feel fair to everybody?
Yeah.
I support that right
That's
on.
been what has
I
happened
don't.
the entire year. I
You,
feel
yeah,
like.
you know, but you're a griffin, so you don't speak English.
You don't get a vote.
You don't speak common. So what I think is fair is if we retcon you taking half damage on these two hits, which would mean the total damage would have been
Still pretty high, but
11 and 6 for 17 would have been the total damage,
Okay.
and you were at full.
Yeah, I was at full. So 17. So I would have 4. I was at 21. Wait, how do I go back out
But then I
of
hit her again.
death saves?
Then I
Alex
hit
know
her-
better than that.
then I
than
hit
me.
her.
It's for both. That's for
Just click on it. Click on the death. There you are.
Oh, there we go.
And then you can add 4 hit points.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and
Also, your
I'm going. I
total
rage
hit
into a
points?
bear. I also rage into a bear.
Rage into a bear, which
Then
does
also does. Hold on.
How is your max HP only 21 as a barbarian? You're like
I
a
don't
glass cannon.
I know. I feel like she may have
More
missed.
rolls?
She may have missed a hit points roll.
Yeah, I'm.
She has to have.
I have 27.
'Cause I have
just for things
23.
perspective.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have 27.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I always felt like that was low, but I'm like,
That-
that was all I.
feels not right to me.
And yeah, unless you do your hit points roll between each one, it doesn't change.
Currently, your rolled HP is set at 15. And
Well, that's possible, but
it is possible.
That would be two really bad rolls.
unless you just wanted to grant like average for 3 levels plus.
I mean, your
Constitution.
average at this point should be 31, so you're getting a +6 from your Constitution score. I worry you didn't add it the last time you rolled. Was the last time you gained a level?
That's dramatic.
Do you remember
17
going
to
in and adding
30.
HP after you gained a level last time?
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to.
Oh yeah, see.
I don't.
Anyway.
I don't think
I
I, have
didn't.
for any level.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Like,
did.
Well,
what-
we
Did
helped
I?
you do it for
Oh,
level
yeah,
2
yeah.
because you're level 3.
Okay.
So the fact that you're at 15 rolled HP makes perfect sense if you're at level 2. But at
Yeah.
level 3, you would have had to roll 3 5s, which would be really unlikely on a D12. So what I'm gonna ask that you do also is roll a D12 right now.
Okay.
Not you. You're not Freya.
I don't know. That I mean, I know I did it. I don't know that I did it
No, wait.
like multiple times.
We would have started with
That one.
what's a druid? D8, D10,
Druid's a D8, I think.
D8. So you would have
4.
started with 9.
A 4.
So
Okay.
does that feel like?
So it's not gonna radically change here because that's another stink roll.
That
But
seems like that seems like
Okay.
more of a
But at the very
possibility.
least,
I
that puts
only
you
do it
at
if
max
someone
HP
tells me
of
to do
25,
it.
which at least puts
Yeah.
you in line with your fellows.
Okay.
Let's go
No, 'cause
here,
I think you did
Here?
level 3
Yep.
with Matt.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then
and my
hit this hit
HP
points.
and everything.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Manage hit points up here.
So we said you took 17 points of damage.
Okay, so
Oh, did you add? You added
You
it?
added?
already?
I just did.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
So
cool.
she's at a max HP of 25
So just
now.
hit this cancel,
So I think 8 hit points is where you should be.
and you can go back to your character.
Oh, but
Please
I
don't
want
mess
you to be at none.
So
Please
okay.
don't mess with that. All right.
Okay.
So,
I'm staying
and
there.
then
Can
then
you
the
see
last
me
thing
now?
I'm going to say is take an attack of opportunity at Gabe the Griffin.
At Gabe the Griffin, I take an attack of opportunity with my great sword.
And you miss.
We'll see. We'll see.
Wait, why did it roll a 4? Hold on.
And you miss.
That's not right.
But
Oh,
you
you did
miss.
damage
Yeah.
instead of hit.
19.
Ooh.
19 does hit Gabe the
25,
Griffin.
actually.
Okay, well that's super
Yeah.
hits. 19's not a. Oh no, that's fighters. Roll your damage, please.
And then 9.
9 points of slashing damage against Gabe the Griffin. Okay, I think that's a better execution of this. We got your HP where it's supposed to
Right.
be. You took the damage you should have taken as a barbarian
Okay.
in full rage. Okay,
Took a pot shot at the griffin.
took
yeah.
pot shot at the
Pot
Griffin.
shot at the Griffin.
Now, Air.
I moved and I didn't do anything else.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what's up?
Okay. So, Air casts Hex against.
No.
Gabe, are you both griffins or just one griffin?
I'm both.
He's this Griffin.
Okay.
But you let me roll for the other griffin.
I'm letting you roll a lot of things.
I'll
I'm pretty cool.
just so it's just so they're easier to differentiate.
Yeah.
I'll cast Hex on the not Gabe Griffin.
Not Gabe Griffin.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Hexed.
Uh-huh.
There's no resistance to that, right? It just happens.
Yep.
Okay.
And so that's just a bonus action. I still have a full action. I guess I'll just cast Eldritch Blast against the other Griffin that I just cast. That I just cast
you
a hex on.
hexed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spell that Alex loves to use in another container.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just double checking. Okay, awesome. Oh, I hate. Oh, well, never mind. 'Cause there's always like one thing about hex that it's in there, but I never use it, and it's like you can like cause them to have disadvantage on a certain skill check.
Sure.
But like, what skill checks these people use in
Yeah.
combat? Like nothing. So I never even mention it. Yeah. Anyway.
Disadvantage on your Arcana checks.
Yep. Gotcha. Well, because they don't even make flying checks, do they, or anything like that, do they? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. See, there's like it's not even.
I mean, it would be broadly on not on a skill, but on one of the abilities, I think. So it'd be like dexterity, for example. Oh, yes, thank you.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh, is it? Oh, maybe I just always misread that. Yeah,
I'm
okay.
pretty
then
sure it's
dexterity.
ability checks.
Okay, I may have just always misread that then.
Again, it may or may not come up.
Oh yeah,
but-
ability checks. Okay, yeah. Dexterity.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'll cast my spell, my cantrip, and then we'll call it a day here.
Nice.
Man, see, I told you all the bad rolls are coming now.
Yeah.
8.
Unfortunately, that is a miss. The Eldritch Blast goes wide. And that is your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Freya, you're up.
Okay, well, let's see. I'm raging. I need to.
Fly like an eagle.
Right. I wish I could. Can only swipe when they come at me. Let's see here.
This is where I'll remind you, and this you do not have to continue to stay engaged with the griffins if you don't want.
Yeah,
right?
that's
There's
what I'm
people on the
looking
ground
at.
you can fight. But I will remind you also that if you want, you can hold an action in 5e.
Oh, right.
So you could say, I'm going to hold my attack until until an enemy comes within range, and then any enemy that gets within range, you'll immediately attack.
Okay.
So that's an option.
That's right. Yeah, well, I will hold my attack. I'm actually not going to move, and I'm going to hold my attack with my great axe.
And then
so
finally
as soon
I'll
as
remind
they
you-
come to me. Okay.
Finally, I'll remind you that in our campaign, with a bonus action, you can administer a potion to yourself. If
okay.
you were in possession of such a thing.
Or someone else was around me. Right. Okay, no, well, I'm
Swipe it
not
from
in
someone's-
possession
Okay.
right now of a potion, but
Sure.
thank
So
you.
you are holding a melee attack.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Next up in the initiative order is the Blade Battle Mage. Blade Battle Mage is what would they be directed to do at this time?
Flee
the
and sheer
fireball.
terror.
Yeah.
Cast fireball.
At less.
They definitely are not doing that.
What's wrong with that though?
Are you trying to kill us, Gabe?
Wait, no, you definitely are.
Verily.
Yeah.
Is that less?
This is less.
That's less, yeah. No, what the battle mage is going to do on the orders of
Oh come on!
the
Just cast a fireball.
squad captain is
What's wrong with that?
they are going to look down at the hot mess in front of these blades,
Literal hotness.
and they are going to cast. You are going to hear them sort of muttering, and then their voice will get very loud at the end in Elvish, and with a flash, all of the vines that have been entangling these blades are going to vanish in a sea of sparkles as they cast Dispel Magic and remove the impediment
What a buzzkiller.
to their troops. Yeah, mages, man.
Buzzkill.
But the mage is not intending to move. They're going to float comfortably there behind their troops. Next up, it is time to hear from Les Moonsliver. Les leaps into action. He is going to turn and dart sort of nimbly around the flaming grease here.
Oh, I would imagine the flaming grease, if there was dispelled magic, doesn't the dispel magic on an
Well, it's
entire
not magic fire.
Oh, but it is magic. I mean, technically, it is magic grease.
Oh.
Even
No, dispelled magic has to target a single effect, a single
Oh, okay.
magical
I
effect.
gotcha.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
that's
cool.
not gone.
No, I'm
Still
done.
flaming grease.
Yep.
He's going to leap up, pull his rapier and dagger, and make his multi-attack against the against blade number 1 there. So...
See, get my roll.
No, you're not Les Moonsliver. So
Aw.
first the dagger is it's +6. That's a 15, which hits.
It's a miss.
And then 2 with the rapier.
It's a miss.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a nope. That hits,
Oh come.
and that misses. So he hits once with the dagger and once with the rapier. doing one, that's 5, and
I screwed up.
D8. 6 is 11, plus 4, 15 points of damage. Nearly deleting this first Imperial Blade with 2 quick slashes
Nice.
from his weapons.
Alright, that's
And he is going to then use a bonus action to disengage and hop back up here.
I like this guy.
I don't.
So
Can
nimbly.
move to about here, and he'll position himself with eyes on the griffin as well as the blades. And he will call out a note of encouragement to some of the soldiers still fighting in the canyon. Now it's the blades' action. At the urging of their commander, they are going to charge forward. So, Alex, will you move all 4 of them up past the fire? They, however, are going to each need to make a dexterity saving throw to see if they can pass through without taking some damage. We're going to say it is a DC 12, and first, blade number 1 makes it, which is lucky because he's almost dead. Blade number 2 fails. Blade number 3 fails worse. Blade number 4 fails the worst.
Wow. This is
So-
going well.
Each of those blades is going to take 3 points of fire damage as they
Great trap.
Yeah, this
Pass.
is
That was a very
working out pretty well
good
here.
trap.
through the
Unlike my
flaming
taunting
stuff.
of the griffin.
This blade is going to turn and immediately attack Potom, who is right in front of him. He attacks with a short sword. That is a 24 to hit, which is going to do 5 points of slashing damage.
You said a 24 to hit?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Unless you have really impressive armor that I didn't know about. I think
no,
that's
no,
5
that definitely
slashing
hits.
damage.
5 slashing damage.
The second blade is going to charge forward and attack less. He rolls. Oh, he definitely misses. The third blade is going to charge forward and also attack less. That is maybe going to hit. 14 plus 5 is
173, huh?
19. That does hit, so Les will take 6 points of slashing damage. And then, last but not least, the fourth blade is going to move forward and attack Pando. That's a natural 1, so he misses badly. And that brings us to Potom's turn.
Hey guys, I got a 327.
If you're going to putz like that, I'm going to have to
Okay.
control my own griffin. Okay? Potom, what's up?
Well,
Leaving?
I guess I should probably defend myself. Let's hit with the warhammer.
All right.
The blade in front of me.
Do it. That is blade 1.
Blade 1, 13.
13 just misses.
Oh,
Clangs off his
the first time swinging this
upraised
thing.
shield.
Great. Well, that is. That's all I got.
Okay.
Sweet.
It's missing is a bummer.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.
The that leaves the blade captain, who's going to charge bravely forward through the fire, and is going to move towards Air, who is.
Good job.
No, you know what? He's going to move towards Pando. He's smart and doesn't like casters. So first he needs to see if he takes any damage from the fire. He does.
Yeah.
That is 3 points of damage from the fire. But then Pando, he is going to make 3 attacks against you with
That's
his
too many.
short sword.
No, I think it's.
The first is a
think
15
it's-
to hit. Does that hit you?
Mm-hmm.
How would I tell again? Armor class? Yes.
The second is another 15 to hit, and finally with the dagger, a 19 to hit. So all 3 hits are going to land.
It's not looking. Things aren't turning up Pando.
No. No, they're really not. You will take 16 points of slashing damage.
Of course I will.
Is there any extra damage there?
But that's for all 3 attacks. So really,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
It's true.
So,
Is there any extra damage there?
With the bear, I have resistance to all damage except psychic damage. That's in addition to raging. What is
Resistance
that
means you
mean?
take half damage, which is
Oh,
what
okay.
we did.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's what I figured. But I just had to make sure.
So that is our first round of combat.
Mm-hmm.
At the top of the round, we're going to deal with what everybody else is doing while
Okay.
you are engaging these folks. So, a couple things happen here. Oh, there we go. First, we have. There's my dice app. You alright there?
It's all the
is-
suspense.
I know,
That is
it's a lot of.
that is the effect of the 75 cookies he's
Yeah, it's probably effective. Okay. So first, let's do our score for the rebels. There are 12 rebels engaged in this combat right now. They each get a D4, but because of your preparation, they each get a +1 to that, so that's +12 in total, bringing the total score for the first round of battle for the rebels to 41. 41.
What do you mean store?
Well, this is how the outside battle mechanics are working. You have managed to occupy all but 9 of the remaining troops. There are 9 blades out fighting those 12 rebels, but they also have a mage with them, and you're currently occupying both griffins that they brought into the fight. So they are going to roll 9d6 plus 1d8, bringing their total to 35. So with your help in this first round of the battle, the rebels have started out strong. They managed to kill wow.
Go Rebels.
They
Not
yeah.
only their battle mage, but our battle mage.
Yeah.
They managed to kill the battle mage
Wow.
and 4 blades.
Wow.
Look at all that prep.
Wow.
These guys are better than we are.
Yeah.
They should, the entire time we were helping them prep, they were like,
However,
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll lunge and then attack. Parry.
however, the blades do take out 2 of the rebels,
Yay!
Peter Gallery.
bringing the total of troops out there down, or total of rebels out there down to 10. It is at this point that the captain, seeing this problem, calls out a command, and this griffin wheels up and out down into the canyon to engage in the fight against the rebel troops. We're moving them from combat with you, but adding a griffin to.
And your hex is still on it?
It is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow, that's a
It's a real bummer.
that's a really rude.
Pando, it's your turn.
It's a real rude thing
Okay.
to do, man.
There
So-
are 2 dudes in your face.
There are. I'm gonna wild shape
Face.
into a bear.
Love it.
And question on that: do I now get the hit points of that bear at its? Yes,
You
I
do.
Okay, so 19
You
hit
do.
points. And I'm within range to bite the snot
Out of both
out
of them.
of one target at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I don't have a bear, but I do have
A bear.
a cougar.
Ooh.
So how about if you're
Black
it a
bear
brown
is what
bear?
I've seen.
How about if you're a
so I gotta go
bear?
with that.
Yeah, there's a brown.
in our
I haven't
minds,
seen it.
but you're a cougar on the board?
Just wait until
What?
you see.
What?
Okay.
Just wait until you see a polar bear.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Polar bears are ruthless. All
All
right.
right. Do you need
So-
my stats for that?
If you're making an attack against one of them, tell me which one. You're standing in front of the blade captain and blade number 4.
The captain.
Attacking the captain.
Yeah.
All right. Then go ahead and make your attack roll as a bear.
It is 1.
Which one would
A
I?
cougar on the streets, a bear on the
In the
sheets.
sheets.
Yeah.
as they say.
Wait,
on,
wait
the,
a
on the
minute.
sheets.
On the
character
sheets.
sheet.
On the
Is
character
it-
cards.
No, no.
The
No, no.
D6.
You're rolling for
Oh,
attacks.
it's so
this
good.
Oh, it is.
That's
Even
so
though. Oh,
good.
And
sorry.
then damage is like the lower.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh.
And then damage. So
Huzzah.
12.
12 plus. Is
plus-
that how the shapeshifting works? Is like it's just literally you're a black bear? Like with
What
that-
I
with
want to
those-
know is since I
So it says plus 4 to hit.
Yep.
So 12 plus 4.
Mhm.
So then
my
16.
totem bear is a
And then I
polar
do
bear.
my 6.
Does she get to see
1d6?
my totem?
only
and
if
then
No,
she
no.
doesn't.
Oh, okay.
So
So I
it's
got a
16?
16.
That hits the blade captain.
Your intelligence.
She sees
Okay.
you.
And now I
just
do this
becomes you.
d6.
Yeah, I
There.
think so.
You're
Yeah.
dumb. Look, your intelligence is really bad.
It is, but
Bears-
I don't need it for this.
Oh,
Bears
it's
are
1d6
intellectuals.
plus 2.
1d6 plus 2
well, they
piercing
have a
damage.
Dumb hat on them.
But you get to do multiple attacks, by the way.
I do?
Yeah, multi-attack, bite, plus claws.
Okay.
So yeah, one thing at a time, I suppose. Yeah.
No, this is really good. I haven't done a bear before, so I apologize.
That's right. We're
Um,
figuring it out. Wild shape.
Okay, so I'm doing my bite first.
Mhm.
So that's this guy.
Mhm.
Plus 2. So 4.
All right. 4 points of piercing damage from your bite.
And then
Now
I
you
get
have
to do my claws.
Claw attack.
And that's the same? Or
Same to hit, plus 4, and then damage will be
thank you.
slightly different.
Thank you for your help.
Yep.
I need it. So 15.
15 also hits.
And then
Just hits.
Pandas turn into like a real like
D6.
battle.
It's a brawler.
I think it's 2. Or, go back to the other
So
page.
sorry.
It's 2d4 plus 2. So 2d4.
If you want some regular dice, I've got
Yeah.
lots of them here too. If you
Yeah,
want
you
to roll
roll another
physical dice.
So 5 plus 2?
Yeah.
So 7.
Okay. 7 points of slashing damage from your claws.
Most
Nice.
damage anyone's dealt yet. Out of all, with your
pretty big.
spells and everything, yeah.
That's it.
Yes, that's what I can do right now.
Okay. Excellent.
And I'm also very keen on my smells.
Or Imperial Blade 1.
So you suddenly, this slight elven woman transforms into a hulking bear that brutally slashes the captain and takes a big bite out of his sword arm, and he cries out in surprise and pain. And that
Oh,
is.
hey, keep
I don't
going.
think I'm a dunce
No, not
after
anymore.
that move.
Do you want to move or stay?
Stay.
Okay. Gabe the Griffin, it is your turn.
Finally. Let's kill her.
Who's her?
Her.
Freya. Okay, so you're continuing to attack the Dragonborn.
Yep.
All right. So Gabe the Griffin swoops back down. Make your attack. That is 20. Non-natural 20.
Just
You're
get beat up on.
Gonna
It's not
roll
fair.
this.
6.
That's a 2. Plus 4 is a total of 6. Divided by 2 is 3
3.
points. And then Gabe, roll your claws attack.
Wait, can I attack someone else if she's not dead? If she's dead.
She's not dead.
I'm
Aw.
not dead.
That's
20.
natural 20.
What?
Wow,
Why?
Gabe.
Are you
Gabe.
cheating, Gabe?
Roll twice.
Maybe.
How?
He's
Roll,
installed
roll it
magnets
twice.
and
Roll it twice.
4 and 5.
That's
9.
9 plus 4 is 13 divided by 2 is.
No.
Oh, wait. Sorry, it's a crit. So 9, 19, 23. You will take 11 points after your resistance.
it's not cut in half and then cut in half again, right? It's only cut in half once.
Just once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay,
tried. I
well,
tried.
now I am down.
Now you're down.
Now I'm
Finally.
officially down.
Finally.
Freya is unconscious.
Even with my held attack.
And then, seeing this, the blade captain is going to call out, and this griffin is going to swoop out into the canyon and drop off their rider to join the fight. And the griffin will return. But the griffin is well trained and returns
So
to
I don't get
remain
my held
in the
attack.
battle.
Did you?
Oh,
what was
if
your-
you had a held
No,
attack.
if you had a held attack, you get it. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I get my held
Yeah,
attack.
that would
so-
happen instantly before the griffin
Okay.
can attack. So
Okay,
make your
so
attack.
let's do that.
And it's gonna kill him, and then we'll
It's a
reverse all the
2.
damage.
Right.
And then
It did not kill him.
It did
The
not.
2 we
No,
missed.
2 does not.
Um,
An 8. I'm sorry, it's an 8.
for attack or just a.
Yeah.
Or did
for
you roll for
attack.
damage?
Nope. Oh no, I hit unarmed strike instead, but it's still a
well, it's still a 2. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so that's a miss, unfortunately. Air, it is your turn. You see your companion Freya fall.
Bless you.
It's
Thank
getting pretty chaotic up here.
Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious, honestly.
Bless you.
You already waste. I only have 2 spell slots, and you wasted one of them.
I didn't do anything. You might say you wasted one of them.
I might, but I won't.
I still think that he wasted.
I think you wasted.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do
It's probably Gabe's
is
fault.
Sorry that you're fighting intelligent enemies.
we should solidify. Wait a second. Can I get some clarity on the positioning of these characters? Only because,
These
and
two
I'll
were-
tell you what I'm trying to do.
These 2 were both in melee with Pando.
Okay.
So they are essentially side by side now fighting with a black bear.
Okay. I would like to be here to give flanking, but I don't know if I have enough.
You have enough movement to get
You
there.
think so?
Sure.
Even though would I be passing? Oh no, because I don't.
You wouldn't leave his attack range.
Oh,
so it would
right,
not
right. Yeah.
Trigger an attack.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough then. I'm going to. So yeah, movement. Do I have any cool bonuses? I don't think so. Unfortunately, or bonus action stuff. I don't think so. Oh, but you got rid of my great hex. Okay, so then I will cast hex on this captain.
Okay. Captain is hexed.
Or sorry, Hexblade's curse.
Okay. Captain is cursed.
Curse.
What happened to Hexblade's curse?
This is the short duration one, the class ability, and this is the one where 19 or 20 is a crit, +2 to damage rolls, and I gain some HP if it dies. Oh no, never mind. Sorry. Yep. Okay. Then I'm going to attack with a booming blade.
Okay.
Someone has to beat up Thomas. Someone on my team has to beat up Thomas.
Maybe it should be you.
Maybe it should be
You
you.
were so focused on beating up Katie.
Right.
that You
Well,
didn't
yeah,
even think
that's-
about
You dropped the
Thomas.
ball. You dropped the ball earlier.
Yeah. What do you got against?
Good
Dragonborn?
news, you'll have another turn soon and you can just take him out.
23.
23 hits. Do your damage.
Don't do any damage.
It's 17.
17 points of damage?
Yes.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
I got a full
To
10
who?
up. It's a full 10 on my roll, +5 normal, and then +2 because of
Oh, that's a
hex.
big hit. That's a
It's
big
I've
hit.
been waiting for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Air comes
Nice.
swooping quietly around behind and just slams her blade into the captain's back, and he arches back in pain, grabbing back,
Oh,
but manages to spin around.
I was just gonna say that I should roll a second because I actually get advantage on the attack roll.
You do. See if you crit.
I didn't mean to interrupt
It's
your
all right.
your great narrative there. Oh, it was so close. It was so close to a 19 too. Okay. Doesn't make any difference.
Okay. Is that that's it though?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Well, that was a big old hit on the captain. He looks
You felt that.
he looks pretty beat up. Freya, it is your turn. I need you to roll a death saving throw.
Okay.
So 10 or higher, you get a success.
You got this.
I got it. 12.
That is one success. So
What'd I
mark
say?
a success in there. 2 more of those, you're back up. Now it's the mage's turn. The mage. The mage is going to. The mage is feeling pretty comfortable at all these fights except for the big old bear. And now this stealthy little agent who seems to be doing things. But the mage is not really keen on getting involved in the melee, so it's going to stay right there. And they are going to
Kill.
throw a firebolt
Perfect.
at air.
Finally, fire.
Fire. That is a 16 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Does
Is that the
hit.
only mage on deck right now? Okay.
So the firebolt will do 8 points of fire damage.
The way that the way that temp hit points work, am I forced to use temp hit points before I use my regular hit points?
You do burn 10 hit points first, yeah. Temporary.
I
hit
don't have a
points
choice
first.
about it.
Right.
Only
I don't believe so.
Okay, and you know the reason I'm asking is because of the armor of Agathis. As long as I maintain that.
Oh yeah, 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 and mechanically and narratively, that makes the most sense to me. Like you have a coating of ice over the outside of you.
Okay.
That's the mage's turn. Now it is Les Moonsliver's turn to act.
Next turn.
Uh,
My turn.
Les has 2 blades in front of him. He is going to attack, we'll call it blade number 2. That is a miss, unfortunately, with his dagger, and now 2 with the rapier.
Yeah.
That's another miss. Wow, Les. And a hit.
Can Gabe roll last?
Right? Yeah, I probably should.
I'll re-roll that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can roll.
Okay. That's not crazy.
What? Extra day was 20.
Yeah, but less is on our side.
Points
No,
of
I know.
damage.
No, I mean.
And
It's not
then
champion his.
Right.
And then looking around, Les is going to use his special ability. No, he's not yet. He's going to save that. But he is going to. No, I think he's happy engaging these 2.
He's gonna do
no,
something
no,
dumb. That's
he's,
what he's gonna
He's gonna
do.
disengage and he's gonna race for the mage. So will you place him right beneath the mage?
I was gonna say, is the mage 10 or 5 feet?
He's only 5 feet up right now.
He's got to move through the
He's
fire.
just like poke.
Yeah.
Right.
He's fine. He dances easily through the fire.
He's a boss. Just kills it.
All right. Imperial Blade in front of Potom is going to attack with his short sword. Oh man, these guys are rolling. It's a 22 to hit. Potom, you will
Almost got
take
killed by the rats.
4 points of slashing damage.
4 points of slashing damage. Hooray!
Blades 2 and 3 are a little confused as to where Les just went, and they hear the mage calling for help because he's not happy to have somebody charging towards them. So this guy is going to race off back in that direction. He's nervous about the fire, but he's brave. Brave and stupid. And he will take another 2 points of fire damage as he pushes his way through the fire and attacks Les.
Get a 20. That's not
It's
a
pretty
20, but it's
close.
an 18.
That is a
Good
hit
enough.
against Les. Wait, is it a hit against Les? He is a thing.
Is he a rogue or something? Does he have uncanny dodge?
He's a bard.
I
And
was going to say, he definitely seemed
Oh,
like a
right,
bard.
right.
As he was going around and inspiring everyone.
he's a bard
Right.
and swashbuckler.
Ooh.
He
think
has
swashbuckler
something
is
called
a good
suave defense. But yeah, that still hits him. So he is gonna take 5 points of slashing damage. Oops. Imperial Blade 3, seeing the captain get stabbed in the back, is going to come over here and attack air.
Good.
That is a terrible miss.
Man.
And finally, Imperial Blade 4 is going to attack this big old bear in front of him. That's a 7 plus. Well, that's a 12. Does 12 hit the bear? It's a bear's
Yeah.
armor class.
11.
Yeah, then that
You
does
see
does
Oh,
hit the
thanks, I was
bear.
looking here.
That is 4 points of slashing damage to your bear form.
Okay.
That's not that bad.
Potom, you're up.
Well, we're going to make this Warhammer work for us. So I'm going to. The 1d10 is if I do it with dual hands, right?
That's right.
Okay. Well, we're going to dual hand it.
Yeah.
Come on. God.
The dice
Bless
are
America.
not favoring you right now.
I'll take that whole dunce chair
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
I've
we
been
gotta-
rolling like garbage
we gotta-
all day long.
I know. I don't know.
Punish the dice.
That actually should have been stuck on me here for.
An
Dynamite
8
times.
doesn't hit,
No, it does not.
and I am going to disengage.
Can
One-
you do that as a bonus action?
Or not disengage. I mean, I'm going to leave.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
He
Almost
misses his
gets me
opportunity
there.
attack.
Yes.
He needs
That's a
something to
little
go
bit of
right.
luck that I
Yeah.
needed. Okay.
All right, now it is the Blade Captain's turn. The Blade Captain is.
Come at me.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip a coin here. Even he's attacking air. Odd he's attacking the bear. That's odd. So he's gonna lay into this bear.
Spells are worthless.
First
both-
attack
both my
hits.
spells.
Second attack hits. It's really hard for him to miss this bear. All 3 hit. All right.
Ah.
So, so the bear is going to take. 17 points of
Ooh.
slashing damage.
That puts me back to Pando.
How many hit points does the bear have left?
15.
Okay, so you're Pando and you take 2 damage.
Okay.
You don't understand yet?
Nope, because I can wild
Nope.
shape again.
Nope, because bears.
Nope, nope, cause bears. Haven't done this yet, Gabe.
That is his turn. Pando, you're up. You are suddenly Pando again.
Oh no, I mean.
But I don't think for long, because I can wild shape twice. So I'm going to very angrily go back into
I
my
said
bear,
bear!
into my bear form.
Oh, jeez. You get
2
that's
I
two
know.
wild
awesome.
shapes, and
Yeah.
and then just a short rest, and then
And
it's
you get
back.
it back. But it does cost you your action
Right,
to turn into the bear.
right.
So
but
that's
do I
the
get a
trade-off.
bonus action?
Do you have any? Do you have a bonus?
If the bear can do any bonus.
Oh, that's
actions.
Yeah.
You could do your bonus action as
Yeah,
Pando
yeah.
first,
I
and
don't.
then turn into the bear. So if you have any
Oh,
Pando
yeah,
bonus
So I don't know if
actions-
this works. So, but my bonus action, healing
Oh,
word
yeah.
60 feet, which I could do.
100%
For
you
her.
could do
Yeah.
that. Yep.
So let me do that
That's
for her
Great tactics.
before and maintaining eye contact with
Whoa.
these. I am
You
trying to
calm
keep
down.
a PG mouth
Be
happening
nice.
here.
Be nice.
No, not for you.
You're a griffin. Don't talk smack.
I'm trying not to.
All right,
so
roll
at this,
your healing damage. So, do you want physical dice or do you
Yeah,
want
do you
the
want?
virtual?
It might be
I've got
faster if you
physical
just have
dice if
physical
you want.
dice. Yeah, that'd be
Here.
that'd be
I mean-
fun. That'd be a thing.
I can.
I think I
I'll
might
still need to
switch
know
over
which ones to
physical
roll.
dice, too.
I should have brought mine, even know how terrible they roll.
Here's some green dice for a druid.
So healing word though,
Oh,
I
you
can
thi-
just
you
hit this
could-
little button.
I don't know if Carolyn
Right?
will let you use her dice. No, we better give you these.
She won't know.
Here.
So for healing word, I can just hit the little button.
You
next
can,
to it.
yeah. But if you want to have fun rolling physical dice,
So I got a 7 for healing word.
then Freya heal for 7 points. That's a
Sweet.
great healing word, by the way. That's
Yeah,
I think
very
that's
nice.
max.
Nice.
Or almost max.
No, max is 8.
So I do that first, maintaining eye contact with the people I almost was going to call a very R-rated word. We'll just call them poop faces, and I turn into a bear.
All right, back to a bear.
Oh, here, can you stand me up?
You'll have to stand up on your turn
My turn.
Thank you.
That's
Yep.
right.
because while you are conscious now, you are still prone.
That is true.
Okay. Nice turn,
Is it my
Pando.
turn?
Gabe the Griffin, it is your turn. So currently you're over there. You tell
I
me.
attacked that one,
The floating one?
no.
You should.
I attacked the guy next to the mage.
Oh, you're gonna attack
Okay.
Les Moonsliver. Okay.
Oh no!
Same kind of
Les.
swooping attack. Can you come down and get after him? All right, you're gonna use your dice or mine? And switch it up. Okay. First attack is that's an 18, which does hit less. Next attack. That's a 2. That's gonna miss less. So you do hit him with your beak. So roll a d8. 6 plus 4 is 10.
Gabe, what does your attack sound like?
Ooh, do the eagle cry. Have you been practicing it?
Come
Hey,
on.
we gotta hear it.
No.
Is this a silent attack
Sure.
on the battlefield?
All right,
Quietest
and now
griffin I've
Gabe
ever
the
heard.
Griffin, are you swooping down, attacking, and then flying back up, or are you going to stay down on the ground? If you swoop away, Les is going to get an attack of opportunity against you. It's up to you.
I'll just stay down.
Gonna stay down. Okay, then let's move our Griffin down on the other side of Les.
On the far
there
side?
you go. And remember, he is now on the ground.
Ooh,
Okay.
If I could just get around there.
Air, it's your turn. Oh wait, sorry. Top of the round.
Yes.
Oh.
The
Yes.
other peeps are in combat. So we are down to 10 rebels, which means 10d4. They are no longer getting their +1. They're in the thick of it now. So that means they rolled a 28. We have 5. We had 5 troops, but we've added 2 riders, so they're at 7 troops with a d6. The mage is dead, but there is now a griffin out there who is going to add a d10 to the battle. That's a 34. So the Imperial troops will carry this round, killing all the remaining rebels.
No! We're gonna lose. Deus Ex Machina.
And in return, okay, so here's how this works. Yep, I know exactly how this works now.
Well, it's good
So
time.
we're gonna do a narrative beat here. The captain sends some of the troops that have been engaged with you down to turn around the fight in the canyon, and you hear the sounds of
Dying.
terrible slaughter and screams of pain as the battle changes momentum in a significant way. Les, who is positioned at the top of the canyon, can see this happening. Can I have you move for just a second, Gabe? Thanks. And as he sees this, he gets a very sad look on his face, as if this is a situation with which he is terribly familiar. And then he starts to sing. And he's going to use his special ability, which is called Battle Hymn. And I'm not going to sing this, but I will tell you the words of the song that he sings as it echoes through the canyon, and you hear it echoing back up to you. So the words are, come the war, come the avarice, come the war, come hell. Come attrition, come the reek of bones, come attrition, come hell. This is why we fight, why we lie awake, and this is why we fight. When we die, we will die with our arms unbound, and this is why we fight. Come hell. And as he sings, and as this song echoes down through the canyon, you hear some of the cries of pain from the rebels turn into cries of anger. And you hear a final but mighty charge begin as the remaining rebels, realizing that they are cornered and the only freedom that they have remaining to them is a freedom they'll find in death, mount a final suicidal charge against the remaining blades. They are highly effective, eliminating all the remaining blades in the canyon, which, by the way, is also what I rolled. There were 5 blades left. The griffin turned the tide, killing 5 rebels by itself.
Oh, come on, Griffin.
But the Remaining
You're
blades.
cursed, Griffin. You're cursed. You can't kill people.
But the remaining blades in the canyon and the remaining rebels eliminate each other. The lone griffin fighting down there, though it kills 5 rebels, is left bleeding and wounded, trying to get back up and find its way into the air, but one of its wings is crippled. And it, though alive, is bleeding and flailing down in the canyon. But everyone other than who you see here in front of you on the battle map is now dead in the canyon. And this is what remains. When you look back at Les, you see that while he is still singing, there are bright silver tears running down his cheeks. Now, Air, it is your turn.
I was secretly hoping that Les was like a necromancer and was like raising raising the dead. I mean, like skeletal army. Well,
It just turns out that Les is Colin Malloy.
Any bonus actions? Not really. Dang it. Okay. I'll just attack the captain in front of me. We'll end this captain.
At advantage.
Good freaking thing. 21.
21 hits. Do your damage.
Oh man. 16. I rolled a 10 and then I rolled it for like the raw weapon damage, and then this time I rolled a 9 for the raw weapon damage.
That's a big hit. He's still standing.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
Still standing, but now is badly wounded. He's looking rough.
He already had his battle arm bit off, practically.
These are big, tough guys.
Yeah,
I
You
mean,
guys,
so.
I mean, if you survive this, you'll just look cool at the end.
That's true.
without your presence here, one squad of blades probably would have wiped out this troop. Without less. You took on a pretty big fight here. Anything else there?
No, unfortunately.
All right, Freya, it's your turn. You
Okay,
can
so I'll
use
stand
half
up.
your movement to stand.
Yeah. That's my movement to stand. So I have 3 more. I'll go toward that captain. Can I
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yep. You
That
can
works.
strike at the captain if you want, or the blade next to him.
I'll just strike at the captain.
Okay. Roll your
with
attack
my-
at advantage. He is
Okay.
boxed in there.
All right. Hold on. 20.
20 hits. Do your damage.
Oh, come on. 5. But that should be enough to take him out. It's not.
This guy.
He's still up.
Oh my
He's
god.
gotta be like 40 something.
Okay, well, there's that. Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna actually, I should have done this first, because I can rage 3 times. Can I?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
can
rage again.
Rage again.
Yeah, I'm raging again.
Okay. All right, very good. Now it's the mage's turn. The mage does not like how close. These guys are all dead. So the mage is going to fly up higher. If you'll just move him, he's not going anywhere. He's just going vertical. So he wants to be out of melee action.
How high is he?
15 feet up now. And then he is going to lob a firebolt at our friend Les. Wait. Plus 4 is 17. That just hits Les. So Les will take 9 points of fire damage.
You got this, Les.
He's hanging in there. And now it is Les's turn. Les is feeling a little startled to be surrounded by a flying mage, a griffin, and a blade. But he's a pretty robust dude. He's going to attack the griffin. So first attack hits. Second attack definitely hits. And the third attack hits. So,
We're gonna be the only ones left standing.
Gabe the Griffin, you are going to take...
Good thing we came out here.
So it made no difference.
9,
Oh my gosh.
12... 24 points of damage to
Ooh.
Gabe the Griffin. And then he is going to bonus action disengage using his light-footed skill, and he is going to race over here next to Potom in sort of a guard position.
Should toss him the potion or something.
Now, Imperial Blade 1, who is really looking weak on his feet,
It's kind of a miracle he's still around, honestly.
it really is.
Yeah, no, missed 2 Warhammer attacks.
I mean, not to insult the injury, but he's at 1 hit point and has been since he crossed the threshold. He's gonna stumble over here and
Limping along.
take a swing at Les.
Oh my god, if he kills Les.
He misses.
Oh thank god.
Thank
This guy's
goodness.
the most ineffective.
Oh, I don't know. I think that I also must be right up
On
there
their
for
team.
most,
I'm
most
I'm
ineffective.
pretty high there too.
You guys are in the corner just slapping each other.
Right.
Imperial Blade 2.
I'm gonna run into the middle of the battlefield and do nothing.
Imperial Blade 2. Imperial Blade 2 is in a little bit of a panic now between a giant axe-wielding dragonborn and a bear and a cloaked scary
Demon child.
yeah. But he's gonna attack the bear.
I just don't like the bear.
He's pretty focused on the bear. That's a 17 to hit, and the bear will take. Oh, that's pretty good. 8 points of slashing damage from a pretty good strike. Imperial Blade 3 is going to attack air. That is 16 to hit,
Okay.
and that'll be 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay. I think that blade also takes 15 points of damage from Armor of Agathis.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's I don't think it's calculated.
based on the temporary hit points. No.
No, it's not. But oh yeah, it's. But if they were present when he attacked, I'm just saying, like, because it drained all the rest of the temporary hit points.
And that's when it does its damage, I think. Or
That's my question. I think it's at the.
if you have temporary hit points left, it does the damage.
Okay, it does. I do not. Is the problem.
Oh, so all your temporary hit points were all gone?
No, it did. I had temporary hit points when he began the attack, but after the damage was dealt.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Then he takes the
yeah,
damage.
okay.
Then he
So-
takes the damage. Yeah.
Okay. 15.
All right. That immediately kills him. So there's an explosion
Hey, like
of
somebody.
icy shards
What a waste.
that knock that guy back and out. It wasn't a total waste. He had barely been touched.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that was pretty good. And then finally, Imperial Blade 4, who now is, I guess, going to jump through the fire for the third time. He's not happy to be doing it, but he doesn't have much of a choice. He's going to brace up and try to charge through the fire. And he makes it through successfully this time. He's getting good at it.
Oh, you know
So-
what? I screwed up a
Fire's
little
dimmed
bit.
a little.
I screwed up a little bit. It's actually only 10 points of damage. He's still alive.
Oh, yeah, he's alive.
Dang it!
Yep. He's badly hurt, but he is alive.
I mean, he didn't mess up. Haha.
I messed up.
That
I
blade
messed
is going
up,
to
I
attack
messed up.
less, and that misses less. Oh, no, that hits less.
Yeah.
6 points of damage to
Yeah.
less. Les is starting to look pretty bloodied.
Yeah.
Potom, it is your turn.
Well, let's turn around here and we're going to cast Heroism, which was going to be saved for my Dragonborn friend, but she moved. So we'll cast Heroism on Les.
Okay, what does heroism do?
Heroism provides a willing creature you touch is imbued with bravery until the end of the until the spell ends. The creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to your spell casting ability, which is 4.
Okay.
At the beginning of each of their turns.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
When the spell ends, the target loses any remaining temporary hit points, and this is good for up to a minute.
Wow, that's pretty
So
cool.
6 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's nice. I like that.
All right,
one.
I'm going to pre-add them so I don't forget. Excellent. Anything else on your turn?
Let's move right up behind Freya here.
Okay. The next thing I will tell
Don't
you.
move.
Okay.
The next thing I will tell you is, right about this moment, you've been very busy in the battle, obviously, but you've been very distracted. But you suddenly notice something that you didn't notice before, which is that your steel defender,
Oh, right. Reinforcements.
your steel defender, is nearby.
Oh,
That's
well,
interesting.
that's fun.
It is making its way up the canyon right now, and is now within range to take commands from you. It will not be up here with you by the end of this combat round, but it is close enough to make an attack on the dying and wounded griffin in the canyon if you want, or it can just proceed past.
Oh, well, we'll just proceed past.
Okay.
The Steel Defender has no, like, oh, look at this poor dying animal. Let's put it out of its misery. No, it has no feelings like that.
All right, so it just proceeds onward. After your next turn, it will be accessible to you up here at the top of the
Okay.
battlefield.
And it brought friends.
So many friends. It is the Blade Captain's turn. The Blade Captain is in bad shape. He is very concerned.
It's like 3 or 4 of these guys all are like in bad
Right.
shape.
They
Like
all have
limbs hanging
points,
off.
but we can't like kill them
Can't
off.
finish it off here.
Okay. He is going to bark out an order. He calls out an order to the mage and says, take the remaining griffin and head back to camp. And then he is going to attack the bear. That's a hit. That's a miss. And another miss. So the bear. Say 7 points of slashing damage to the bear.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I think I have 4 points.
That's not
4 bear points.
That's 4 above 0.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And speaking of, it is the bear's turn. We don't need to do our end of round battle stuff anymore because everyone in the
There
canyon
is no battle,
is
yeah.
deceased.
Right. All right. So, if I do a multi-attack and I start with a bite on one, could I do a claw on another, or do they all happen to the same target?
You can split them up. Yeah, and we'll do it one at a time. So, for example, if you wanted to attack the captain, if you take the captain out, you,
I
you don't
sure
waste
do.
your final
That's
attack.
gonna be who I attack.
Go for it.
Okay. Let's see if I remember how to do this.
Go for the jugular.
That's a 6. So 10 to hit.
That will miss the captain.
Sure it will. So then I don't have to do the hit damage. Okay. So then I'll do my claws.
Oof.
I'm gonna go back to the electronic dice.
Fair. Fair.
1.
That's 7.
Oh, it's 7. Plus 4.
Plus 4.
11.
That does miss.
Yeah.
All right, Gabe the Griffin, you have not received any specific commands yet, so you can still attack if you want. On the mage's turn, it will be calling you. The mage will be calling you to fly away, but you have plenty of flying speed if you want to make an attack against somebody.
I'm just gonna attack the bear.
All right, you're gonna attack the bear. Whose dice are you using? Yours or mine?
Take me
Okay.
down.
So first, Gabe, this will be your beak attack. That definitely hits. Let's do that first. So roll your d8.
Come on, 5.
Even looks
It's
like
going
it's
down.
even looks like the
4.
griffin's trying to grab
4.
it.
That's 8 points of piercing damage from the beak.
You're dead.
So that takes me and Pando out.
Oh, because how much did Pando have?
1.
Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
well,
Oh.
then, yeah, you're super unconscious.
Yeah.
You're super unconscious.
Okay.
My next one is gonna be against the rogue.
Against air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
You can move in between your attacks.
7.
7 plus 6 is a 13. That misses.
Oh, thank God.
All right, nice try. Are you going to fly up and away or stay on the ground?
I'm gonna fly up.
I'm gonna attack.
Okay.
All right.
Make your opportunity
Yeah.
attack.
Nat 20.
Whoa.
Oh my
okay.
goodness.
As a reminder, with our crits, you get max damage on the dice, plus you roll the dice again.
So, but modifiers are only added once.
Correct. So basically, roll a regular damage attack, and we will just add the max damage to it.
Gotcha. Um, 16.
So 16 is your rolled.
Oh, wait a second. No, wait. I think something went.
Oh, D&D Beyond probably automatically does their crit rules.
Oh, I was wondering for a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
So I'll just take the last one off then. So it's 6 plus 5, so it's 11, and then plus max.
Plus 5 is your modifier.
Plus 5 is my modifier.
Okay, good. So 11, and what would max damage on your dice be?
10. I rolled a
10.
d10.
So 21.
Right.
All right, 21 points of damage on an opportunity attack.
Gabe the Griffin.
Gabe the Griffin is alive,
Oh.
barely.
Oof.
I think a wing fell off.
Gabe,
you were playing with fire here, Gabe.
Yeah, you barely flap away and make it halfway up into the air. You're about 10 feet up.
Oh, this is I have a. Oh, you're not gonna let me do this, but that would have been sick. Because like my normal attack, what I do is I cast a cantrip, which is Booming Blade.
Yeah, you can't do that on opportunity attack.
Because then
There's
you could.
feats that would let you do that, but you
Oh,
don't have that.
It would be so sick because then you would have taken the additional like 1d8 lightning.
But I have maybe good
unfazed.
news for you, which is that it is your turn.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh man, do I take a pot shot at?
Yeah, do it.
careful.
Do
So-
it.
going for
I'll
ya.
just tell you tactically, there's trade-offs here. Because
course.
should you take a pot shot at Gabe the Griffin, that's a ranged attack when you are within melee of another enemy, which means you'll roll at disadvantage. If you attack the Blade Captain,
Yeah.
you've got a chance of taking him out. He's
Yeah.
also in really bad shape. But you can do whatever you want. You also could... maybe you've got other options. I don't know.
Nah, you made me waste all my spells.
I do that.
So
Hate him.
I'm gonna
do all this.
I think Air is developing a personal beef with Blades, so I think she's just going to attack the captain.
Okay. Roll to attack. This is still at advantage because even though Pando's down, Freya has arrived to put pressure on him from the other side.
Is that the flanking advantage? Okay. Ooh.
23.
23 hits. Do your damage.
Oh man, 15.
Wow. Yeah. Well, as resilient as this guy is, that is the end of it. As you plunge your sword into him, he falls, calling out one final command to the mage. Tell them what happened here! And he falls over.
I think I lost my
Anything
phone
else on your
to a
turn?
child.
Oh. I'm going to. Oh, he would have taken 2 more damage too, but that's all right. Reposition over here. Because I think I can do that.
Yeah, and remember the captain was Hexblade
Yep.
cursed.
So I get 7 points back.
Nice.
Back to full health.
Look at that.
Nice.
The
I
only,
need some of
the
that
only person.
magic, right?
Freya's turn.
Potty break. I'm gonna take a potty
Let's
break
do it.
I've been, yeah.
Will you grab the mini that's right by your feet?
The mini that's by my. Oh. Yeah.
He bounced over that direction.
You are you watched the Blade Captain fall in front of you, Freya, as
Okay.
Air has just put an end to him. it is your turn. You are facing one blade.
Yeah, I'll attack that blade with my my axe.
Okay.
1,
And my
7.
Okay, that does
I-
not.
What is going on?
That does not hit, but you are you have him flanked. So roll it at advantage.
Oh yeah, you gotta
Okay.
roll
Roll
again.
once more.
Okay, let's try this again. Okay, there we go.
I think
21.
Someone's conspiring.
That
I
hits.
know.
All right, roll your damage.
Oy.
This is Imperial Bleed 2.
14.
That puts an end to him.
Oof, nice.
So
Oy, finally something.
the blades start to fall.
I love to decapitate people with my axe,
Yes.
especially when I'm raging.
Do you want to move, or are you comfortable where you are?
No, I'm gonna stay right there as I've been instructed to by my little
Sure,
friend.
yeah.
Don't move.
Now it is the Blade Mage's turn. The Blade Mage is going to give a sharp whistle, and is going to hook up with the Griffin. Is going to move as far as they can, but the Griffin used most of its movement already. But he's going to basically use his turn to mount the Griffin, and we'll pop off one more firebolt at, let's say, air, but misses. And now
You
is
suck.
now is basically concentrating on escape. Les is Les's turn. Les, seeing the mage start to get away, is going to call out to you all. If he escapes, we've got problems.
Oh shoot.
And then is going to attack the guys in front of him. He will start with Imperial Blade number 1, who's been hanging in there for a long time. That hits. Might as well just roll that. This was just a dagger attack. I actually don't know why I rolled that. He has 1 hit point. So he's dead. And then 2 attacks with the rapier against the remaining blade. That will hit. And that will miss. So the other blade takes 9 points of damage. Which he's still alive. Just barely. And then he is going to once again disengage, and he is going to race to the entrance of the canyon and start to climb the cliff wall towards the lookout position. Several blades are dead. Imperial Blade number 3 is standing in front of Air and will attack you, Air.
Mm-hmm.
Misses. Blade number 4 is going to turn and attack Freya. Does 13 hit?
Yeah, 13 hits.
Okay.
Did something just not hit one time?
You're a big target.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
And you're going to take, after your resistance, you're going to take 4 points of damage.
We need to get you in like a huge, like breastplate or something.
Yeah, right.
Potom, it is your turn.
I can administer a healing potion as a bonus action.
You
have to
can
kind of
take one
buy
as a bonus
better
action.
armor.
Oh,
You
okay.
can
Or
give one as an action.
You can improve your dexterity.
You can hand it off as a bonus action.
Yeah.
If,
It's like other
but
things where you could
it
get a
would,
shield.
they would have to use their own bonus action to take it.
Yeah. Use some of that gold even.
She's
saving.
unconscious, she can't.
My 13 gold pieces I have left.
Oh, after-
Yeah,
after-
if you want to
after the horses.
Okay,
get
here's
Sando up, you have to use your action.
Here is a better question. When my turn ends, it'll be the exocomp's turn.
Yep.
Where is the exocomp?
He's almost to the top of the canyon, so he's going to appear right after your turn.
In when he appears, how close will he be to them?
He'll be very close, but he'll be 15 feet below them.
Okay, great. You using the exocomp is my spellcasting focus. The exocomp, when it gets to the top, will cast Tasha's Caustic Brew at the Griffin and the Mage.
Just vomits. So.
Okay.
Lovely.
Tell me about Tasha's caustic brew.
A stream of acid emits from you in the line of 30 feet long and 5 feet wide in the direction you choose. Each creature in the line must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be covered in acid for the spell's duration, or until the creature uses an action to scrape and wash the acid off itself or another creature. The creature covered in acid takes 2d4 acid damage at the start of each of its turns. At a higher level, blah blah blah.
Okay. If they succeed at the saving throw, does anything happen?
Well, no, it doesn't say.
Okay.
If they exceeded the saving throw, then they don't get covered in acid.
Okay. Cool. We will do that then.
Do they
First,
both roll independently? Like,
they are going to roll independently. Let's roll first for the mage.
So jump in
He
place.
does not have a very good dex modifier, so let's see. What's the DC?
To do my DC. It's 14.
Okay. That's an 8. So the mage fails. He is coated in acid.
Yes.
The griffin has a much better dexterity modifier. He has got an 18. So the griffin is not covered in acid. That was the opposite of what you wanted to happen, probably, but still,
Not necessarily if the. I mean,
Take it.
still good that the mage
Right.
is covered
right.
in acid. All right, excellent. Is that the end of your turn?
That is the end of my turn.
Blade Captain.
Well, as a bonus action, I'm just going to lightly place the potion of healing next to Pando, in the hope that maybe somebody else.
Somebody will help out. Speaking of Pando, it is your turn at the top of the round. Please roll a death saving throw. That is a d20. 10 or higher is what you want.
It's gonna be a 6.
So mark your first failure on death saving throws. If you get 3 of those, Pando is gone for good.
Some days.
Next up in the order is the Griffin. The Griffin has been ordered to depart with the mage, and so it is going to fly away at a flight speed of 90, and it immediately disappears from your sight.
Oh. Okay. Well, because my Eldritch Blast is at range of 120.
Well, it is out of. It has. Here's what I'll tell you then. It has flown down the canyon. The mage is flying basically straight out the canyon, so it is currently out of your sight. It's possible that if you move to the mouth of the canyon, you might have eyes on it on your turn. We'll see. But you can't currently see it. Well, and actually, it's your turn right now. So
I was going to
choice.
take one last chance here and move away, allow the attack of opportunity,
that's a miss.
and go as far down as I can and take one last shot at it.
Okay. You come around the corner here, and at the very edge of your range, you do have eyes on the griffin. Do you have dark vision? What's the range of your dark vision?
Shit.
60 feet.
Roll a range attack at disadvantage.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. 10. Dang it.
10 misses. So a good attempt, but the bolt goes wide. Freya.
Let's see here. Do I have to use an action to nudge the potion closer to Pando?
You have to use an action if you want to pour it in her unconscious mouth.
Yeah, I'll pour it in her unconscious mouth.
Okay. Then roll for the potion of healing.
Which one do I roll for?
It's 2d4 plus 2.
2d4. This one then.
So that means you do
Yep.
this twice and then add 2.
Okay.
Someday I'm gonna learn.
That's how do you
Oh, yeah.
tell what that
Top
is?
number.
3.
It's
Should
a
be
3.
pointed
Yeah.
to the top. Top of the
Oh,
pyramid.
whatever's pointed to the top. Oh, got it. Because I can't see. So 3 and 1. So 4.
Plus
Plus
2.
2 is 6.
Okay.
So Pando takes 6 points of healing, which brings you back to consciousness.
Guys.
You are in a lot of pain, but you are awake again. Some of you are starting to get used to this feeling.
Right.
Like, wait, where am I? Oh, I hurt
Oh,
everywhere.
good.
Can we just take a? We're just gonna take 5.
All right, now it is the start of the Blade Mage's turn. This is a very important role
Yes.
that could really transform the way we think about your participation in this battle.
Right.
2d4, right? 2d4?
Yeah. And 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage.
Ooh, that's about as good as you could expect it to be, right?
What, I mean, 1 more.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. You can't see what's happening,
Oh,
Right.
but you feel good
Feel
about
good about
that
it.
acid. That acid seems like
Oh, yeah.
it really got on that mage. You're feeling good about it. Now, do you want to
I
move?
feel like you're talking to me like Rick talks to Morty. Yeah, really good job, Morty.
really
Really,
good job, Morty.
really, that acid really got on
Yeah,
there.
it's good, Morty. It's good. Cast a caustic Tasha, Morty.
Yeah, but, good job, Morty. You're doing a good. You're a good grandson.
Good, Morty. That's good. I love you, Morty. We gotta go on adventures. All right, so it is Les's turn. Les is going to.
Oh no, wait, was it my? Oh no, it was the mage's
That was
turn.
the mage's turn.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just him taking the damage from your thing. Les is going to finish scaling the cliff. He will make it all the way up to the place where the lookout previously was. And from there, he can see the mage and Griffin. Les's problem is I need to look something up.
He has no ranged weapons.
Or dark vision.
It's not really his thing.
Can't really even see them.
Swashbuckler
Right.
moves his eye patch from one eye to the other.
Yar. Where is this? I know what I want to see. Oh, here it is. What's the range? Oh, it's out of range.
Or
He's-
is it?
He's got nothing. I gotta stick to my own rules. It would have been narratively cool for him to make a heroic shot here, but he doesn't have a crossbow. His only cantrip is yelling insults, and
When people
this
hold,
creature is too far away to hear him.
when he makes a sling out of like some a
He
strap on
MacGyvers
his-
a 120-foot range weapon.
Can you just be really mad and sling insults at whoever blades are still standing?
Yeah, from up from up there he can do that. So that blade is going to make a saving throw and fails, and it's going to take 2 whole points of insult damage, which is not enough to kill him, but it really hurts his feelings.
Oh, I'm bleeding harder.
Les is.
Oh my gosh.
There's a string of expletives coming from up in that lookout position because Les is very frustrated that this mage is getting away.
Or did it?
Well, a string of expletives is suggesting strongly to you that the mage is still getting away.
One more turn though.
Right.
The acid's not gone unless he used his action to wipe acid off.
Oh.
So we'll see.
No.
Really hard to do in the air.
Yeah, I know.
Imperial Blade is going to attack. Man, this guy. No, he is. Yeah, he flees.
Whoa.
He's terrified. He's almost dead. All his friends are dead. He is going to make a move here. He's too scared of you. But he is going to try to jump through the fire. And he's fine.
Oh, it'd been hilarious to just burn.
There was a
Ooh.
very
Please
non-zero
have him run
chance.
past the exocomp. Please have him run past the exocomp.
He's dashing and he runs right up to the exocomp, but he's not past. The
Oh,
exocomp.
but I still get an attack of opportunity.
Until he leaves.
If he passes,
Oh.
you will. But right now he did not expect to see a big metal creature down here, so he's
It's random.
not really sure what's going on. The other blade, however,
hilarious.
is the last remaining blade is directly engaged with Freya and is too scared of you to turn tail, but he is going to attack. That is a 17 to hit. Does that hit you?
It does.
It does. And you're going to enjoy one more max damage hit of
Put you back on the
9.
ground.
I'm back on the ground.
9 divided by 2 is 4. So you'll take
No,
4
I
damage.
only have 3 left, so.
But you're not unconscious, so that's great. Potom, it's your
Oh,
turn.
no. I mean, I only have 3 left, so
Oh,
3
so
minus
you're unconscious
4
either
is
way, yeah.
unconscious.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
you're doing a lot of this battle.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't really done too much this battle at all.
We need
You
to get some
poured
better
potion in
armor.
my
I
mouth.
poured potion in your mouth.
You also cut a guy's head off with your axe.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Well, let's
that
not
was-
undersell. And as
This
the
is-
tank of the team, you absorbed a lot of attacks.
I did.
Right.
Did
I
your job.
did.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
I did. I had like 90 points of damage.
you,
or something
you
like that.
invited and accepted 2 full Griffin attacks that would have taken out individually anyone on this team.
True.
So, having said all that, Potom, it is your turn. You could try to bonk that guy with your warhammer. Maybe get one warhammer hit in before this combat's done.
Bonk
You got options.
Oh, we're talking about this
That's
dude?
him.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the last remaining
Last
blade
one. Just walk
who's
over.
anywhere near you.
Smack.
Oh.
Step over the corpse of Freya. I mean, the unconscious body.
With my last.
Hurrah here.
Oh wait, was that Grease? Heroes. Oh yeah, nope. Don't have a spell slot for that. So we will attack with a ray of frost. That last dude standing in front of me.
Do it.
15.
15 hits.
Freya, duck down.
Okay. I will.
Doesn't need to. 5 points of damage.
That is just enough to take the last blade in your sight, at least, down. It is now the Steel Defender's turn.
With the force-empowered rend, he will make an attack. Plus my spell attack modifier. Oh, he gets +6. Is that 13? Yeah. 13 plus 6 is a 19.
All right, so I think as this guy is just fleeing in terror, the Steel Defender, he sort of sees it out of the corner of his eye, but maybe had a hard time differentiating it even from all the rocks and everything else in the dark. And I think the Defender just reaches its big metal arm out
Clotheslines him.
and just clotheslines him, and he's down and does not get back up. That is the end.
I was effective in battle!
Huzzah. Pando, you are
Alive.
conscious,
Okay.
but laying on the ground.
Yes.
All the creatures in your immediate vicinity are
Laying on the ground.
down. But if you have any actions you would like to take, you can. We're still technically in combat until this mage either fully escapes or perishes to
Freya's
acid.
bleeding out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Bleeding
still
out.
have 3
Or unless you have
first level
anything that
slots.
can
Yeah,
attack
any
the
healing
mage.
magic would.
Or,
Well, yeah, I don't know if you've got any long range attack spells, but
Oh, if you were trying to go after the.
yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, the same problem I have.
No.
Probably can't see past 60.
Exactly. But I could do again. I mean, can I stand and then as bonus action do healing word again?
yeah, it
too?
doesn't take an action to stand. It just takes half your movement. So you can stand up and heal
Yeah,
Freya.
yeah,
Go ahead and
I'll do
roll
that.
your healing word damage.
7.
Okay, 7 points, Freya.
Nice. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Phew.
All right, now it is the Griffin's turn. The Griffin is going to continue to fly another 90 feet away. Air, it is your turn. You no longer have clean line of sight on the Griffin. My guess is there's not much to do for you at this point, but if you can think of something creative, you're welcome to.
I'm gonna sprint 60 feet.
Down the canyon?
Yeah.
Okay. You can take that.
Can I see it?
Go for it. Put it right in front of Katie's laptop. There you go. Freya, you're conscious.
Unconscious.
Stand up and shake
I
yourself
guess I'll
off.
stand up. Can you stand up, Alex? Thank you. Okay, well, there isn't too much to do. Yeah, I don't have too much to do here. Everybody's dead. I'm really only effective within 15 feet. So everything.
All right, the last moment of this combat is
Says you. I'm still running.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna end this combat with Les looking out over the rapidly vanishing figure of the Griffin, and from up there in the now very quiet box cannon, you just hear a deep sigh as Les acknowledges that this mage has escaped with.
Most of the mage did scrape off the acid.
He did. I rolled for it too to see if he
shit.
would do it, and he did pull it off.
Spellcasters, man. They're terrible.
It was rough. It was a close one. The mage was down to 2 hit points, and the Griffin was down to 5 hit points. So there were opportunities.
Oh man, if I would have hit the griffin.
If you had hit the Griffin, this would have been all over for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. But unfortunately, we will have to deal with the consequences of that later.
Well, someone will. We won't, but.
Right, this isn't even our fight.
Uh,
Unless we need to get paid now.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
We did tell you initially.
So let's pause here for a moment. We will have a little conversation with Les before we're done. But I think this is a good place to pause, do some cleanup, take another quick break, and then we will debrief the battle with your new comrade Les. Okay, so as we come out of combat, Les climbs back down from the lookout area, looks at all of you, looks down into the canyon, and again sighs deeply. And he says, I'm deeply, deeply grateful to you for trying to save these men. I wish I could say that this was the first time I've been through this, but it's not. And unfortunately, it probably won't be the last time. We can't stay here for long. We need to get on the move. But I feel like you've earned some answers about what's going on here. And I have a fair amount of curiosity about who you are and what brought you here. I think we've got enough time to sit and take a short breather, get acquainted. If anyone would like to take a short rest at this time,
Oh, yes, please.
you can. Speaking mechanically, as a reminder for short rest, you can roll hit dice if you need to recover, and or you can cast spells of healing or use other healing things
So-
if you want. It's up to you.
Just mechanically, do you just fill in the dots?
I don't. Yeah, you need to fill in the dots for any of them that you're going to use, but I don't believe D&D Beyond has a way to automatically do it right now. So you still need to literally roll to figure out how much you heal for.
The D8, right?
The D8, and then you also add your Constitution modifier. So whatever
Oh, yeah.
plus it is for Constitution.
They do have a
Oh, they do have an automatic.
yeah.
It's neat that when you roll your hit dice, it
Ew.
automatically
Oh, Jesus.
applies it to your hit points.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
great. That's updated. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I was just wondering if I had to do that, and
Should
I
I
looked.
try 3 times? Is that what it's saying?
You can.
It's saying you can go up to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
the way- yeah.
So the way that hit dice work is they're a limited quantity. You recover half of your hit dice for every long rest. So let's say you've used all 3. Until you get another long rest, you can't do that again because you don't have any hit dice to use. So if you were to take another short rest later, you couldn't use those. There wouldn't be any left for you to use to heal. But if you take a long rest, you're at level 3, so you'd get 2 back, but not 3. And then another long rest, you'd get that last one back.
So I got 2. Is that 2 hit
I
points?
rolled a 1.
Oh my gosh.
I saw that.
Freya, the rolls are the hit point rolls are rough. Maybe that means that your next couple of levels are going
It's
to
gonna
be
be-
I hope
dramatically
so.
better.
I just take the. I just always take the. I opt for the average.
The average.
rolls.
So my second roll, I got 5. Is that 5 hit points that I get back?
Mm-hmm.
Not half, but
No.
actually the 5.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yep.
just checking.
So as you are resting, bandaging your wounds, Les is doing the same, and he is.
We got 13 the first time.
I did,
Yeah, that was good.
at least.
He's doing the same, bandaging his wounds, drinking some water, but he also starts to talk, and he tells you. He tells you that he'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about the Yokogawai, at least to the extent that he can. He does say, though, that while you're talking, it probably would be a wise idea to load. Oh, no. He starts to talk about concealing what happened here, but as quickly as he starts talking, he realizes you don't have enough people power, wagons, or anything like that to get all of these corpses out of here. And he says, basically, we just need to put as much distance between us and this place as we possibly can and get ourselves lost. The fact that that mage got away with a griffin means that by the morning, any blades based nearby will know about this place, know that there were survivors from the fight and that we eliminated 2 full squads. They'll send a battalion to wipe out anything that's here. We need to be very far away when that happens.
Are there any? Air asks if there are any like documents or things that should be destroyed before we leave, or taken with us, or whatever. Yeah.
Les pats his pocket. You can see it's bulging just a little bit under his. He's got kind of a, a vest over his billowy silk shirt. He says, "Any records that we need to preserve, I have here with me. There are some supplies left here that we could probably take with us on the road. Some food and other things. We should definitely loot these blades and see if there's anything of value there that would be useful to you, particularly if they have any papers, orders, or other things that we could use for intelligence. But no, other than the bodies of my relatively new friends, there's nothing here that we would benefit from concealing. There's no avoiding anymore the fact that there was a rebel cell here, but they already knew that. The only thing they didn't know is that we could bloody their nose."
Should we?
Search the bodies.
Yeah.
Anything dragonborn sized?
Right.
Well, let's.
I was on a mission now to just get some better armor.
Yeah,
Right.
if you want to loot a bit, we can do that. I'll ask
Yeah.
you, anybody who's going to get involved in that,
Mm-hmm.
to roll an investigation check.
Got a 19.
I also have
Ooh.
19.
I got a 1. No, a
Solid.
7. I thought it was a 1. Good.
Okay.
11.
So a few things. There's some decent equipment here, but none of it necessarily better than what you are carrying around. The best of it is probably on the body of the blade captain. He was wearing a suit of chainmail that is still in decent shape. It's bloody and scuffed up and probably wouldn't sell for much in a shop, but it would fit any of you if you wanted it and if you don't mind wearing the blood of your enemies.
Minor detail.
Yeah.
Chain mail.
Yeah, chainmail.
What does
Is
it?
that light or
what is it?
medium
It's
or
a-
heavy?
I believe chainmail is medium armor.
Okay.
I don't know if that adds anything to me, does it?
Well, it's tricky for you because once you put on armor, you lose your unarmored defense,
Right.
Which is what plus?
which is based on your dexterity, I want to say.
Constitution? Dexterity?
What is it? Let's see.
Or is it strength?
Strength?
D&D Beyond will tell us the answer.
Oh, chainmail is heavy armor.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, so you can't even wear chainmail, Freya, if it's heavy. That's not an option for you. You could take leather armor off of one of the blades, but I really doubt that's going to improve
That's
your
not
armor
gonna-
class.
The last leather armor didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
Are barbarians? I didn't realize that the barbarians are not.
They're not really meant to
Proficient.
wear armor. Their armor class
you
does
are
get
your
progressively
armor.
better
Yeah.
It does.
as you grow in stats, but the trade-off for barbarians usually is you're a big bag of hit points, which you aren't, weirdly, because of your unfortunate rolls. But the fact that every attack against you does half damage basically is the trade-off for not wearing a lot of armor. But apart from that, there are short swords aplenty. There's a couple crossbows, and you do come up with an assortment of gold pieces.
Now we're talking.
Now you're talking. You find
Payback for the horses.
Right.
all told 15 gold pieces
Well,
on
not
the
quite a payback.
various and sundry corpses. I mean, they're just military guys.
Yeah.
Out. They're not. You didn't raid a dragon's horde here, but 15 gold pieces in total. I mean, probably the wealthiest person you were fighting flew away on the back of a griffin. So,
Right.
Speaking of the griffin, what about that other griffin that's down there?
it's still alive, but not very alive. It's badly wounded and is nearly bled out.
Should
It's
we
just
try to
sort of
befriend it?
down there
Ooh.
twitching.
Oh, wait
Speak
a minute.
animals.
Yeah.
Speak with animals.
I can speak with animals.
And we could
Yeah. Let's go down there.
let's go heal a wing.
Me,
let's,
friend.
Okay.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Before you do that,
Is there
Air
any-
cuts off the captain emblem.
Yeah.
And pockets
yeah.
it.
I
You got
like that.
it. Mm-hmm.
Is there
Um,
any leather
That's not gonna come
armor
back.
that would benefit Pando? She's only light and medium.
I mean, there's leather armor aplenty. So if you're
What's your inventory? What are you currently wearing? That's the
I think
question. leather.
Just leather, but light.
yeah.
So I didn't know. Like in Lotro, if you go up to like medium, then you get
They
additional
have-
bonuses.
No,
everybody here is wearing leather armor except the captain who's wearing chain.
Okay.
So
So no change.
there's no immediate benefit to you here.
And then my mace. Would that ever should I ever focus on a different weapon or no? Because Pando has spells and
Yeah, I
he
would say
counts
unless
animals.
you stumble upon something magical that works
It wouldn't be worth
a lot
it.
better than
What's your
what you've
1d6.
got.
Yeah.
Oh, if there was like a longsword, that's more than 1d6.
And I do
Or if you had a shield, I mean, shield would be.
capability.
There are shields laying around here. Every one of those blades was carrying a shield. So if you want to pick up a shield,
Yeah, because you don't use. I don't think you need
you don't
both
fight
hands.
two-handed.
Right.
Yeah. So you pick up a shield that would improve your AC.
Yeah, that's
Not in bear form, but.
not in
Right.
But
And
that is a great idea because a shield increases your armor class by 2 when you're wielding it, which is a big deal.
14. That's a serious armor class.
Do I change that manually or do I just add it to inventory and it does
You
that?
add it to inventory and then you have to equip it in
Yeah.
your inventory. Thomas can.
Yeah, so if you
show
go to
you that.
inventory
Um,
and just do.
Add equipment?
so
yeah.
before we worry about
Yep.
messing with griffins,
Yeah.
let's finish the conversation with Les. He's got questions for you, but in the interest of
Yep.
building
That's it?
trust,
I
he
have
invites your questions first.
So, do you have any contact with the Yokogawa in Chikip?
Les looks a little surprised when you say Chikip. He surprised and excited. He says, "There are not many of us who are privy to the simple fact that there are more than one cell of the Yokogawa, that this is a broader movement. I am one of the few intermediaries between cells and have spent the last several years nurturing cells in this region. My cover as a traveling musician is helpful in allowing me to move from place to place. But I must be honest, apparently the level of trust and insight I thought I had in the organization is more limited. I had no idea there were cells on the Isles themselves. I believed this was a rebellion of the mainland. If you're telling me that the Yokogawa has wormed its way into the heart of the empire, even, I guess, on the outskirts like Chukip, this gives me great hope. But no, I was unaware.
By wormed its way into the Isles, the Yokogawa didn't start there?
Not that I know of. I was brought into the fold, as I said, almost 3 years ago, and it was a friend of mine in the homeland of the Minotaurs where I was introduced to my first cell. I fought alongside some very brave warriors who pushed back against a local governor who was doing disgusting things to some of the families in the area. And though we did remove him from the equation, the blowback was so severe that most of us had to flee. It wasn't long after that that I again, nearly by accident, stumbled on another cell that of a group of Tabaxi, and that's when I realized that this was much more than I ever suspected, not just a local group of angry vassals, but a web of cells of rebellion that's been built over time. I've met a few folks who I would call leaders, who set me on this path, passing information and intelligence from cell to cell. A leader of mine essentially asked me to shepherd 4 or 5 cells in this area. 3 now, I guess. But I was no part of the founding. As far as I know, this has been building for a very long time. I don't know its source. But I always suspected it was the vassal states in response to domination by the imperial will. The idea that it exists in any form on the Isles is mind-boggling.
It exists.
That's where we're headed, right?
In what form?
Just getting my bearings. We're headed back there eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a bucket load of poop.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of horses.
Right?
And a whole-
Right?
No,
yeah, we're now horse traders.
So many businesses to
I
run.
guess we don't really know, honestly. We've just done some work with
Or,
the
yeah.
local
Mhm.
cells.
Yeah.
We had an
Independent
assumption.
contractors.
that
Independent
it
contractors,
was.
if you say.
Yes.
Yeah.
1099s, yeah.
I see.
Apparently, we had an urge to
Intervene.
come and save lives out here
How ridiculous of a thought.
instead of just leaving a message.
I see. Well, though the day was lost, I am grateful that you did. I can understand your hesitance to attach yourself to our movement. It is risky, to say the least,
And life is hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
undoubtedly.
Sorry.
But my
I was just looking at how much experience you have.
stone-skinned friend, that is exactly why we fight. Because life under Imperial rule is hard enough, harder than it should be. I grew up well cared for, comfortable. I lived in a world where I believed everything that we were given as pure-blood elves was deserved. I expected the vassals to serve me. I expected to live comfortably with all of the wonders of the Imperial arcanists and economy at my fingertips. It took me years to see the dark rot that has crept into our psyche as a nation and as a species even. But now that I've seen it, I cannot unsee it. And I will spend the rest of my life fighting back and trying to help those who are willing. I can't ask you to do the same, but I will anyway. If you would consider what has been wrought here. A group of simple merchants, farmers, tradesmen. They were up here in the hills before I came along. And they were up here because putting their lives and their entire livelihoods and families at risk because life was that bad. It's that hard out here. And if you haven't been out here and seen it, I hope you'll travel with your eyes wide open and see how bad it's really become. But should you one day wake up and decide that you're looking to be more than just sellswords, I would encourage you to visit us. There is a place in the vassal state of the Minotaurs, a city called Moonhaven. If at any point you should journey there, seek me out. I frequent a tavern there called By the Horns. I'll travel with you for a time when we leave here, but I will need to depart and visit the other cells that I care for. If I can move quickly enough, the damage we did here might save more lives, give us time to truly evacuate instead of just build an emergency defense. But I'll have to move rapidly. I hope we will meet again, but if not, I wish you well, safety, and I hope you will occasionally find an opportunity to strike back at this rotten behemoth under which we all operate. If there's anything else I can do to help you now, just tell me.
Air asks if, because we've encountered a number of different cells, and sometimes these cells have relationships between each other and are connected. Is there any kind of like overarching?
Yeah, like
Bureaucracy?
where's the headquarters?
Yeah, is there any like, maybe not like that, you know.
Yeah.
Is there anything above that? Do these cells organize amongst themselves, or is there some kind of organizing force or command structure?
Well, I can't tell you much. I can tell you that a leader recruited me to support 5 cells in this area of the mainland. I suspect, though I've never met any others, that there are others like me set up to support groups of cells, exchange some information and resources among them, provide training, even start new cells.
Yeah.
I myself have not done this, but the way that the Yokogawa have survived this long in an empire with nearly total control over everything that we do is separating the information as much as possible. If I knew even who the leadership was at the next level in the organization, I would be an extreme liability. And so I simply don't. And even if I did, as much as I trust those of you who risked your lives alongside me just now, I would not tell you.
Fair enough. So So do you not take orders from some? Do you not take instructions from someone else?
I do.
A higher authority?
I do
Azure.
receive.
Azure.
I do receive messages, guidance, warnings.
And
But perhaps
you follow them blindly? You don't know
twice
who they are?
or 3 times a year,
Oh.
and they're rarely framed as orders. More insights,
Guidance.
opportunities, guidance, warnings. My job, as it was explained to me, is to help develop the grassroots rebellion that I can. I don't come here and provide orders. I came here to provide training, to help turn these farmers into soldiers, to help them strike back in a way that wouldn't find 7 or 10 of them dead on the street after they attempt an ill-advised raid against an imperial caravan, like those fools in the other cell did just a month ago. My job is to make people more effective. I'm not a leader. I'm a support. The goal here is to build something that grows on its own. It's, as far as I can tell, not operated in secret by some grand mastermind. But there are certainly those of us who cover more ground, let's say.
Well,
I mean, are we gonna start making our way back toward?
yeah, we need to. Let's go
Is it
talk to this
landing?
griffin. Let's go check out this griffin. But yeah, we probably need to get
We
going.
gotta get our horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go check out the griffin. But as we do that, I've got some things to say. Just to us. Let's take him with. Let's take him back to Wally Wally Hanzo. It seems pretty clear to me that if orders are going to be handed down, suggestions, things that we've seen before, it sounds like Wally Wally Hanzo is probably pulling the strings on this somewhat.
Or at least high up there.
And instead of sending this guy to the next faction that is bound to fall, we can bring him back and at least regroup this a little bit.
That's Air's belief, is that there's, all these just, disjointed cells. I think there's value in having an organization between them, or so they can strike as one.
He's supposed to be in charge of 4, and now 2 have fallen in the last several days.
As much as they want
Is he
to.
going to go to the next one and watch the next one fall? I think that we take their strongest member back to the organization and have him at least have Wally Wally Hanzo find value for him somewhere else instead of just going to losing battle.
If we can at least coordinate these 2 areas of the movement,
Right.
I think there's value in that.
Then we've done something.
Yeah, something good came out of this.
Yeah, but what does that do?
I
What does bringing him back do?
believe it.
Maybe we make
Conduct
introductions.
the-
We make-
right,
yeah.
the strongest members, the strongest cells. He could be a lieutenant of Wally Wally Hanzo, and then at least he's not just aimlessly wandering between cells out here for someone that he's never met. He's just
I know, but what happens to the rest of the rebel cause in this area then?
They keep operating like they've done.
they keep operating the way
Yeah.
that they have. If they are found out, then they get crushed. It's not like any different than the last 2 cells that just happened here.
We
And
need
after
But
the
at
last
least if
2
we can
cells.
take their hero and connect him with a cell that is very clearly well connected and operating efficiently, then instead of us going out and doing this stuff, maybe he can go out and do this stuff, and we can get back to what really matters. There are things that I have to do. I can't just keep getting beyond poop.
Oh, okay.
There are things that I set out to do, and it is just a wonder that I have lost sight of what I have been out here doing in the first place. I can't even believe that I let the exocomp walk here all by itself. with one of my greatest secrets in its belly. I'm telling you, if I keep going like this, I've lost my way, and what I am doing will altogether be lost, and then it won't matter either way, as the powers in this world will rise up, and we will all be enslaved.
Well, I mean, we can always ask him if he wants to come back, or if he thinks that staying here to protect the other two cells or help train him.
Oh
or
yeah, I mean,
whatever
we're not
is the
gonna
better.
kidnap
I mean,
him. We're not doing that again.
We're
no,
done-
no,
we're
no,
done
I
with
mean, we can
kidnapping.
ask him
But
if
I
he
do
wants
think it's a
to.
good idea. I also feel like,
Not completely done with kidnapping.
one, we're gonna have some kind of mark on our head pretty soon.
Right.
Pretty
Like
soon,
people got out.
Battle Mage got away.
Yeah. So as soon as
Oh, yeah, he
that's
super saw
communicated,
you. He's
Yeah.
got pretty good description.
Yeah.
Pretty
of
sure
this
I-
motley crew.
so I'd like to
It was a
leave.
little rock guy that
Yeah.
splashed me with acid.
ASAP.
Yeah.
And I think they're just going to double down even harder on the cells here who don't have a leader and don't have a strategy. So if we take him with us, then maybe Wadi Wadi Hanzo can, I don't know, make him like the actual leader of this stuff. We'll see. But yeah, I'd like to get off this place.
Yeah.
Outta
Well, let's
here.
offer that. Let's offer that to Les.
Yeah. Let's talk to Les
Yeah.
and say that
Come with us.
we know people pretty high up in
Hmm.
the Isles or the
Yeah, some very powerful people with the
in the
Yokagawa
organization. Yeah.
Yeah.
in the organization that are out there.
And we would like to coordinate between the two sects, the two
Mhm.
Cells.
faction cells, yeah,
Uh,
divisions.
so his immediate response to that is, my friends, I will travel with you for a brief time, but two of the cells under my care have been wiped out just this week. These attacks are clearly coordinated, and the leak goes beyond just a single cell. So there is nothing in my world right now that is a higher priority than reaching each of my remaining cells and giving them warning. If I can move quickly and save lives, I will do that. And as much as I am intrigued and tempted by your offer to learn more about the organization, that is not something I can do immediately. It will take me a good week to reach both of my remaining cells and attempt an evacuation or a dispersal.
What
That is the only thing I can focus on right
Well, we tried to elevate the organization, and
What
they
makes
turned us
you
down.
think that there is even going to be a cell left when you get there?
What makes you think I wouldn't go try?
You're right.
I just watched 12 people that I care for, that I've had relationships with for a few years now, many of which I recruited into this organization, be brutally murdered. You watched it too. If I have a prayer of saving some of those folks, you raced across the landscape from Salt Marsh Landing to try to do the same, to save people here.
And failed.
Right, and now I'm reevaluating that, and I'm saying, you should come with us.
What if you could do more good by coming with us?
What if I could just do that a week from now? I'm going to go to my cells remaining and try to bring them warning. If after that your invitation is open, I am a free man available to travel. If I can check on my cells, save some people, and then jump on a merchant vessel and travel to Chukip, if there's a place where we can meet and we can make contact, or if you want to visit me in Moonhaven, I'm open to these discussions, but nothing will dissuade me from going to try to stop
warn.
this same massacre from happening. There are other friends that I need to care for. You could come with me if you'd like.
No, thank you. That's a
Panda?
no from Pando.
I'm with Pando. I
That is
again
a
think
no.
that this at this point was a complete fool's errand.
I am feeling it.
We saved one
I
life.
don't think it was.
We saved one life.
We tried.
We tried, and we saved one life.
We did. I am.
And we very easily could have saved more.
But we
didn't.
didn't.
But what if we have another opportunity and this time we'll succeed?
Yeah, I need to definitely recoup for a bit before I go off fighting again.
Let's go down and see this griffin.
What do griffins like most in the world?
That is a good question. I don't know.
Being held down by a
Chocolate
steel
cake.
defender.
Chocolate cake.
Anybody who would like to roll a nature check could try to
Could
tell
we
me
bribe
what you
the
know
griffin?
about griffins.
I'll roll a nature
Are-
check.
are-
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, are griffins
I got a 17.
sentient creatures? In the
I got a 13.
Well, doesn't matter. Speak.
Yeah.
Pando, here's what you know about griffins.
Mhm.
What they love most in the world is eating horses.
Oh, okay.
That is
Well, we have
Well,
horses.
that solves our horse
that is
problem.
their absolute favorite thing to do. They live in small prides, so in the wild, they travel in small groups and hunt and live in small prides. They are fierce, very territorial and violent. The other thing that you know, and this is more from your upbringing in the Empire, is that griffins who have been raised from an egg and trained by the griffin masters of the Imperial Blades are loyal to the death to their masters, are, while not intelligent, are capable of following specific orders, and are life-bonded mates, life-bonded mounts, I should say.
That's a
So,
shame.
once bonded with their rider, they will fight to the death to keep that rider
But what if
Even
their
if the
rider
rider
is
is
dead?
dead?
Watch their ride or die.
You don't know. You don't know what will happen then.
Okay.
That's what you know about griffins. This griffin is very badly injured. One of its wings is broken. It is very badly slashed up. It is bleeding out and will not survive very much longer. It is at this point feeble. It barely responds when you approach. It doesn't even claw at you. It just sort of lolls its head over, and one of its eyes rolls back, and it kind of makes a sound. But this griffin will expire in the next 5 minutes without intervention.
Okay.
Well, do we
Yeah,
heal it?
do
Do we put out its misery? What do we do?
I'm gonna talk to it for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Is it even
So-
in a state to be talked to, though, is the problem?
Well,
You can
I
always
can
try.
verbally communicate with beasts for the duration.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm dying.
It's not great.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna
How are
cast.
ya?
Hi, guy. No.
Well, I'm
okay,
missing
I'm
3 of
gonna
my 4
cast a
limbs.
spell and just see.
Mm.
Griffin.
So here's
Griffin.
here's what you discover very, very quickly. I have identified your species.
Dang.
My name's not Griffin.
It's Mike.
Mike.
Here's what you identify very quickly. The griffin has an intelligence score of 2,
Oof.
which means
Dumb
that
as
even
rocks.
even with this spell, it is barely verbal. It's basically repeating over and over again. What you hear is basically the griffin repeating over and over again, hurt, hurt, hurt.
Oh, Griffin. What do you? We could help you. We could help you with end the hurt.
Help.
We could help you end the
Hurt.
hurt. Can you tell us where you came from at all?
It has no idea what you're talking
It
about.
has no idea. It's supposed to have something.
It just keeps repeating hurt.
hurt.
There are some creatures that you could talk to with this spell that are smarter than a
Mhm.
griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This thing knows it's in a great deal of pain.
All
That's
right.
what it knows.
Well, I can take my great sword and chop its head off.
You can and do.
I do.
Okay. You put the
That's a
griffin
shame.
out of its misery. I will. I don't know if you're this kind of people, but this griffin is saddled, and a griffin saddle, though heavy and awkward and bulky, is worth something.
It also identifies you as someone who killed. A
Oh
griffin.
yeah, like if this is black market
Yeah.
for sure, but on the black market air, you could probably get 50 gold for this.
Oof.
What about some eagle talons?
Oh
Yeah,
god,
those-
we're just gonna start chopping up.
those-
people.
Maybe
Yeah.
for
Well, beak, what about an
certain
eyeball?
black market alchemists or wizards or things like that. Some of these parts, but you don't. I would say none of you know what's marketable and what's not. So you can hack random things off this beast and see if it's worth anything later. But
Yeah, sure. I'll take the feet.
all right, just gonna lop its feet off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you
'Cause
put the saddle
Bottom
in
just
your
starts sawing the
bag
feet off of.
Oh.
Yeah.
just to hide it?
Why
Uh,
not?
fit?
We're already at this point.
Yeah, well, all right.
We have to pay
Let's
for
make
the
some
export.
changes.
We-
First, we'll take the enchantment off of my armor. Which I have to. Before I forget. Nope, don't add 2 to that. Add 0.
We're just gonna be like,
All right, and
Head
we'll,
on.
we'll recreate the bag.
Okay.
We'll bag up the feet in the saddle.
the bloody feet.
What about the beak?
No, sure. Take the feet, too.
It's like,
Take
Alright.
the beak too.
oh, this is getting
So-
horrific.
So you spend
Butchering.
30 minutes butchering this griffin, and yeah, you acquire 2 griffin feet, a griffin beak, and an imperial griffin rider's saddle. So if somebody wants to record those bits and bobs,
Because it's in my bag, I will
Record
record
it.
those.
I will say watching this happen, Les has an interesting look on it.
Yeah, probably.
The saddle's not a total shock to him. He's like, well, it's worth money.
The
Maybe you got
talons
black
were
market
like,
contacts.
but the beak was like, whoa.
When you just start brutally butchering this griffin, he's like, I'm gonna be over here. I'm just gonna be over here.
We deal in poop and griffin parts, okay?
Yeah, we're a certain kind of hero. And
Short swords, armor. No.
yeah,
Freaking griffin beaks.
shockingly, your horses survived
Wow. Okay.
this combat. And there is one other, in addition to a couple oxen that survived. Les drives the oxen out of the box canyon and just sends them into the woods and kind of says,
Good luck.
good luck, oxen. Mounts a horse of his own with a few bags of supplies, and then awaits your readiness to depart.
Okay, let's get on to Featherwand.
Okay, you're
Get
headed to
on
Featherwand.
Featherwand.
Do we have to do that to go to Salt March, right?
Mhm.
You don't have to. You could bypass Featherwand if you wanted. I mean, you off-roaded it here, so it's not like there's a road you have to stay on.
I don't think there's much advantage to avoid Featherwand, though, do we? Is there? Do we need to?
No, I mean,
Featherwand's
Do
great.
Featherwand.
Risk reward.
Yeah.
Let's go to Featherwand. Try,
Agreed.
we'll just be like offering to sell griffin saddles to anyone on the street, and
Sure. What could go
what could go wrong?
wrong? All right, so you're gonna ride together for a while.
well,
Les-
there is that guy in Featherwand who has in the shop, he has the back part of the shop.
Oh, maybe we already know a guy.
Oh.
Maybe you do.
Maybe we do. Maybe we don't.
So a couple things happen on the road back to Featherwand. First, Air, you notice something. Now that the heat of battle has calmed down and all these new revelations about the Yokogawa, you find yourself in the kind of the routine of travel, and you notice something that you weren't sure what it meant on your way to the Yokogawa hideout, but you kind of recognize it now. And that is that the sense of connection to your box is stronger here than it has ever been. And at this point, you've got enough information to put together that the further west you have gone,
Give a phone.
the stronger this feeling has been.
Oh, really? Oh.
That's just air knowledge, by the way, but
We don't even know about the box.
you don't even know about
Right.
the box. But further west you go, the more powerfully the box seems to.
Have a hold on me, and like not a, or do you mean
It's
like
really hard to
positively,
describe.
Or, yeah.
It's just more present in your consciousness.
Okay.
So the box, you always know the box is there.
Yeah.
But this far west, like when it was in Chukip, it was like, kind of like phantom phone syndrome, where
Yeah.
like, kind of just know it. Your
Passes
phone
in
is
and out of
there.
it.
You can tell
Yeah.
it's there, but you're not. But out here, it's almost like it's buzzing.
Constantly, yeah.
Like the box wants your attention.
Mhm.
And it's not actively asking for anything, but that feeling has grown as you've moved west. So there's something to that that you can ponder on. And the other thing is for you, Potom, because as you start to ride back to Featherwand, your brain is stuck on a weird puzzle, which is, why the hell is your Steel Defender here?
Yeah.
Because that's not what you told it to do. You told it to go to Featherwand, and instead it came to you.
It's like a Twilight Zone episode.
And how did it find you? But it did.
No.
So you're thinking about that while you ride.
As we've just now, again, left it behind to
Yep.
find us in Featherwand.
Which,
I have to say that this time, as Potom has sort of come to his senses after his rant, was a lot more hesitant to allow it to just follow like last time.
Fair. And you got options. I mean, you can go more slowly. You can do. There's a lot of things you could do, but that's a weird puzzle. I think that falls into place for Potom. In the heat of the battle, it was like, oh, thank the gods.
Right.
Or
What?
thank
Oh,
whoever.
okay.
But yeah, that shouldn't have happened.
Right.
From what you know of this thing that you built, that's not a thing it should know how to do or be able to do. So that's a mystery for another time. But on the way to Featherwand, the final thing that happens is at a certain moment, probably about 2 hours into the journey, Les seems to spot sort of a landmark and pulls up his horse short and looks at the four of you and says, "My friends, this is where I leave you. I have other friends to look out for. But again, I'm deeply grateful for your aid. I know that it probably feels to you as if you did not save anyone. But I suspect that if I ride quickly, perhaps you did. And I hope we'll see each other once again. You can find me in Moonhaven. Or perhaps you'll see a familiar face wandering the streets of Chukip, if that is indeed where you're headed. But I wish you safe travels. Keep your heads low. And if I can be of service, find me at By the Horns. And remember, as he rides off, less is more."
Alas, before you go.
Oh, but that was my departing line. It was
ruin
carefully crafted.
And I'm here to ruin that. The scratching post is probably a good location for you to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Very good. Safe travels, my friends.
Less is more.
Please, guys.
Less is more.
That's me. My name's Les. It's a pun. All right. Let me ask you this. Do you want to... We could do a fast forward thing here, if you want. So I'll give the party the option. We could role play your travel all the way back to wherever you want to go. To Saltmarsh Landing, to Chukip. If there are NPCs you want to interact with along the way, if there's folks in Featherwand you want to talk to again, or things you want to do, if you wanted to see how your friend Marks is doing in Saltmarsh Landing, or reconnect with any of them, or if you want, we could leap ahead next time all the way back to Chukip. I'm cool with whatever, but what do you want to do?
I would like to accelerate the plot a little bit.
Yeah, let's like at least get back to Saltmarsh Landing. We'll collect.
Like the dung.
Collect our
Yeah.
poop and.
But we don't even need to roleplay that. I think we
Right.
just like
Yeah.
Yeah, unless
Just do
there's
that.
specific stuff you want to try to do.
On the ship ride back, I would like to finally open up that book that I've been holding on to all this time, that I just have forgotten to look through.
The journal.
The journal. I'd like to know what is known. It's clearly Potom has hit a point where he feels like he's lost his way and what he's really doing. out
Yeah,
more.
fair.
we can skip ahead to getting on the boat. We've loaded our dung, and the Exocomp has caught up with us.
Yeah.
And we're
I'm fine with that. So
okay.
here's what we'll say. I think you probably take your time so that you can move cautiously, because it would probably strike you, and probably less warned you, that being obvious at this point, being visible at this point, is probably not advised. You're a very recognizable troop. You're a half drow, a silver dragonborn, a rock gnome, and a noble elven woman that's now been involved in a few scrapes, a few interesting bits of trouble. And some of the people you got in a scrap with are still alive. So he makes a recommendation that you move as quickly as you can, but move stealthily. So let's imagine that for 2 days or so, you make your way, traveling mainly at night, avoiding interactions with patrols of blades and things like that. And then, as quickly as you can, booking charter on a ship back to Chukip.
I'm going to try to sell the horses before we go.
You could return the horses.
Could I return them?
In
We're not...
Salt March Landing if you want. I would say if you want to return them to the same people, that would be possible, but returning them as late as you did, you're not going to get your full deposit back without
I'm hoping we can get
pushing
like
on it.
half deposit at least.
Oh,
is
well,
what I'm
let's
going to push
on
for.
it.
Yeah, we might as well push on it.
Okay. Risk reward. Again, I don't want to get into a bunch of role playing here, but here's what I'll offer you. You can have 45 gold back with no noise. Or you can push on it and try to get your 60 gold back, and there's a risk that it will draw the attention of local blades.
We didn't hold up our end of the bargain. I think
I'm
it's
gonna
fair
go.
as fair.
I did get that 15 extra gold pieces. I just happened to grab those, so I'm just gonna go with the 45.
Okay.
I'm fine with
I'm
that.
gonna give you 10 gold as well.
Oh,
Because
oh,
I
you
didn't
don't need
contribute
to.
anything.
No, you don't need to because I got the 60 back.
You
so.
sure?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
All right, very good.
Totally fine.
And then, conveniently, the captain of the ship who sailed you from Chukip is back here already. He makes the run back and forth frequently. And so upon seeing you, he feels comfortable relying on Wadi Wadi Hanzo's letter of credit to bring you back, knowing that this was part of the deal. And so you're able to book passage. So where we will pick up the next time we play is with you all at sea, headed back to Chukip, and you can think about some various downtime actions that you might want to do on that day and a half, 2 day journey back to Chukip, such as reading journals and other things. You can all definitely take a long rest, as you will have had multiple by this point. And then, Katie, I know you said you wanted to wrap by like 5:30.
Yeah, 5:15 might
Okay.
be a little better.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Would you guys be interested in doing just a little bit of this kind of like reflecting on the year stuff before we wrap, or would you rather just wrap and hang out?
I'm fine
No,
with
let's reflect.
anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
looking forward.
epilogue the year.
I think that could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're
Do we get any
exactly.
experience points for this?
Oh, yeah.
You do. Let's do that. Let's do that. I think being
Do the
safely.
important part.
I think being safely on the ship. That's a good time to do this. So, your significant combat plus meeting our friend Les plus learning about the Yoko Gawai more broadly, I'm going to award each character 570 experience points for this adventure.
Darn. No level up yet.
Not quite.
70. Oh, you know what?
So
Manage.
hit
So is this
your,
a
hit your-
TV screen in there?
570.
and then
570. Yep.
So we should be at 2110.
That's what I'm at.
Sounds about right.
Go to manage experience. This should be the second one down.
Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, so 570.
In the lower box.
So
Yep.
I can't fly yet when I wild shape.
Right.
I don't know why there would be a purpose to this. But could I still wild shape into a bird form like an
How
eagle?
much
I
are we
just couldn't
supposed to be
fly.
No, you
Two,
cannot.
one.
Can't do any bird.
Cannot
Bird
wild
at
shape
1810?
into any
Oh, I
No,
must
creature
have
that
got
has a
300
flying
at some
speed.
point.
Yeah,
On
you
their
should be at
stat block.
2110.
Okay.
So if the stat block says they have a flying speed, it's
Mhm.
not an option for you.
Okay.
I think the same is true for swimming speed right now. I don't. know.
Mm-hmm. But I think flying
But you're pretty
opens up
close
soon.
to that.
Yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to put off your dream of becoming a trout for a little bit longer.
Someday.
I mean, by the time she gets swim speed access, it opens up some pretty ruthless
Shark
aquatic
or like whatever.
animals. Yeah, there's something called a hunter shark in D&D, which is essentially a great white shark.
Oh yeah.
You can turn into a killer whale. There are giant squid. Like, there's some pretty
This
great.
is why when we're on the boat, I'm like, and what do we see?
They just
What am I
aggressively
seeing?
whale watching.
I mean, I think you've seen a griffin by now.
I know, but I can't turn into a monster, right?
Oh, okay.
Beasts only.
Right.
Yeah,
Beasts
Griffin
only.
is not technically a beast, I don't think.
Right. No,
Shame.
I know.
And
I sent Matt my list. I'm like, here are all the animals you said I saw last year.
Just got them all figured
funny.
out.
Bear's pretty good though.
Yeah, Griffin is a
Yeah.
monstrosity, technically.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Because it's a
basically
combination
monster, I think is
yeah. A real monster.
a real live monster, yes. So when Courtney and I were at the Tolkien thing, we got into a
Thank you.
long and very involved conversation about this excellent game
Do
we've
you have to
been
keep these cute boxes?
playing together.
No, it's for you.
And I was reminded that we're, I don't know if we're at already or nearly at our 1-year anniversary of playing together. Which
We
is,
are.
We're
at
past it, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we're past
I think
it.
we're.
Didn't we
Oh, we're
start?
right there. It was.
Your one remaining gift will reveal that.
Oh, you're funny.
we'll keep that a secret, but Courtney's
Yeah.
been working on something cool, another something cool for us. But you had asked some questions of me that I thought would be really fun to ask of other people too. So I thought maybe we'd spend 15-20 minutes doing that just here at the end of our anniversary marathon session. So I'll start with a question that I'm curious about, which is for you as a player, not as a character, but as a player, what has been the biggest or one of the biggest surprises for you in the campaign so far compared to your expectations going into this a year ago? Is there anything that has surprised you?
How conflict averse this group is.
Yeah.
At least all the other D&D groups I've played with have been like power gamers. Like, no, I min-maxed my character for death and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to battle with demigods and whatever. And we're like, let's just talk.
Let's just like, hey,
Or let's
what
just-
should we do?
We're simple poo farmers.
Yes.
Yeah,
trying
you're
to-
not murder hobos, that's for sure.
I'm trying to offer some balance here to
Yeah.
to the poo farming.
Yeah. No, that's
Not that there's anything wrong with poo farming.
right. No, that's kind of the same for me too. I mean, I just enjoy the level of storytelling and character development that's going on with everybody.
I've only ever played with people I knew very, very well before we played. And so, no one ever, like, our DM never let us die. Like, we did the stupidest stuff. And our DM never let us die. And so we were totally coddled, and I knew that.
So you just get away with anything, yeah.
Yeah. And so, because I didn't know you guys, I didn't want to be that like new person that everyone's like, Jesus, why did we let her play? And because I didn't know like how the difficulty level, right, that you would bring to it. Even though it feels like a conflict averse, it's much more real than any other game I've played. In that, like, I'm learning who you guys are and who your characters are, like, every single time we interact. And, like, I don't pretend that he will let me live at any
No, you
given
definitely
time.
shouldn't, yeah.
So that, it's just, it feels very new in that. It feels like I went from, like, not really playing to playing.
Yeah, no, I feel like we've said that from the beginning, even before we started playing the campaign, was, Matt, if it feels like we deserve to die,
Yeah.
then you should kill us.
And I will.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
will.
I will
Yeah.
delight in it.
That
Yeah.
is something that I guess I've
We
always
deserve
known.
Yeah.
I will
We
never
deserve
seek it out. I
No,
don't.
no,
I'm not
and not in like an
trying to
unfair
kill
way.
you.
Not in an unfair
Yeah.
way, yeah. But if it's fair, if you deserve it, then that's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
we're very cautious, though.
Well,
Like
I think that
Leroy
there's
Jenkins.
yeah, I think that there are plenty of times where we have been like, you know what, this has absolutely nothing to do with us. So why are we going to stick our nose in this?
Right.
And we should walk away. Like when all those people were
Trillian
being
and-
executed in the square,
Mhm.
and Matt was like, "Well, if you were to go in there, you would have definitely died."
Right.
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 Or at least been arrested and been in those same stocks yourself.
And the next
Right.
morning, then
Shortly thereafter.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have to spend some time thinking about the mechanics of that. Like, what would your escape from the city have to?
Right.
Like, how many skill checks are you gonna do? And-
Yeah.
Well, that was just it. All of a sudden, we were like, "Why would we even do that?"
Yeah.
It seems like a lofty,
Right.
silly goal with no like
And we
outcome.
tried, though. Like, we investigated. We talked to, like, Meeks, and we were like, can we? No. The only reason, this is true, the only reason I agreed to go today is because I knew you were going to make us fight no matter what we did. That is it. If this were, like, a regular day, I would have been like, hell no. Like, it's not our thing. We
Like,
gave a
well,
message.
I
We're
want-
out.
As soon right, and that was where like
Yeah.
I also knew, and that was where I didn't even like put up that much of a fight to it. Where
Yeah.
I was like, we've delivered the message. We've
Yeah.
done what we've said we were going to do.
This was
Oh,
not on
I-
brand for Pando at all.
Well,
I-
it was
yeah.
also not on brand. I mean, especially even just the straight up combat. Like, oh, I'm going to attack with my great
Yeah.
with my great axe. This is something, or my warhammer. That's something that Potham would never just. My first choice is violence. And so I think that it was at the end of today's thing where Potham was obviously distressed.
Yeah.
Was just a recourse of that. Like,
Yeah.
what am I even doing here? I'm
Right.
not doing what I set out to do. I have gone against everything that I have, established as being right and good. I've gone against that. Now I'm just attacking people for no reason.
But I
Or a
also think
reason
it's
that at
in
least I
line with
don't-
the story. Like, I feel like we are messed up. Like, look at all that we've been through for a week. Like, that's kind of how I justified it with Panda. Like, she's not making her best choices.
Yeah.
She is messed up, and her right and wrong is, like,
Mhm.
she still thinks about the fact that she kidnapped someone. Right? Like,
Sure.
Well, it was only a
That's-
couple days ago.
Exactly.
That goes so against my philosophy as a player for even like playing D&D without making it so dramatic. But I want to play. I will bend over backwards for whatever is the best story.
Sure.
If that means dying,
Mm.
if that means getting into bad situations or like
Mhm.
going against what like sometimes even makes logical sense, but as long as there's like something interesting, if there's like an interesting like nugget, I'll definitely try to push to pursue those kinds of things.
Sure.
Because
And
I
well-
want it. Because like Matt puts a lot of like effort
Yes.
into.
Well, and I agree with.
Like
I
that's
agree
my
with
that's
that.
my philosophy on it.
I
If I die, so be it. If
Mhm.
but if it's a good story, if it felt good, if it moved you in some way.
Sure. I think that ultimately, as Potham, today's actions just solidified that he isn't on the path that he'd set out to be on. And I think it takes something like this to realize that, which, there are good stories around that. Today was a good story. I agree with that. And I think that it invites good stories to come from this.
An evolution of character.
Right.
Like, are we like involved in this now? Like more than we initially thought. Like, yeah. So what does that mean for our next
Well, I mean,
steps?
even Potham walking away from this saying, I've drifted away from what's important to me, is movement for Potham.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
It's an evolution of where he's going to want to invest his time, which I think is really positive. Right?
Yeah. I think it's great. I love today's storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big world here, and I've always been pretty scared of the full sandbox approach of DMing, where you're just like, go wherever you want, do whatever you want. There's a bunch of threads out there, pull on them, and then I'll make a story to connect to it, because it is a lot of work to prepare it. You got to do a lot of improv if you do that, and then go build along the lines. But this world is what I hope to do with your visit to the mainland, and what we I think have done a little bit, is made this world much bigger.
Yeah.
Right.
sure.
My big hope for you getting on a ship was this would go from a story about Keep to a story about a much bigger world. You already had a connection as Potham to this much bigger world and things that were going on, but what I hope will continue to happen is you'll see that a lot of these threads are actually connected. And to me, what makes groups like this successful or not successful is the extent to which. So I love you expressing your goals about story, but what I have seen in my experience is that what makes these games successful is the extent to which your priority is collective fun, right? So when you as a player are thinking about what will make this fun for the other players at the table, I've had players in the past who are like, why would I even be in this group? And I'm like, wrong question. It's literally your job as the player to answer that question, right? Your job is to come to the table with a reason why you'd want to stay with the group and do the things that and for the group to be moving in a direction together. Because if you're not, then you're playing the wrong game. Like, you should go play a video game, right? But my job as the DM, I think, is to make some of that realistic. And to be like, okay, well, there should be forces moving in similar directions that are important to all of you. There should be opportunities at different times for you all to pursue things that are unique and special to you, but that should balance with things that are important to all of you collectively, right? I'll tell you what has surprised me the most about this group is the entrepreneurial bent. No surprise, right? Not that I necessarily thought you were all going to jump into this and be like, we're on the hero's journey, and we're going to turn into Robin Hood, or we're going to turn into whatever. But I didn't fully expect you to go hardcore sellswords right away. I wanted you to start out poor, so you struggled. Yeah. But I didn't necessarily know that was going to translate into like, we do stuff for money.
I think what ended up happening is like it became the default.
Yeah.
Because I think we justified it as being neutral. Like we justified being
sure.
and but the result is like, well, now you're a sellsword, which is like
well, and just the pressure of like needing the money immediately. Like what what were we supposed to do? Like
it was
I needed papers, man.
You did, yeah, and you will probably continue to need money for various reasons, but.
Yeah.
It was really just the hook to force you all in the same place at first.
Sure.
And then it was interesting to see how it impacted the early parts of the story, where like it was something that mattered to your characters. Like you had to, but I agree that there were moments where it took the place of some of the difficult moral decisions.
Yeah.
Right, where it was like,
yeah.
Because I remember watching you all wrestle a little bit, like especially with the kidnapping piece. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? You probably noticed I'm trying to paint a very morally gray world here, where there's not a lot of good guys or bad guys. There's a lot of people doing bad things for various reasons, many of which they believe are right. But deciding which one of, if any, of those groups you're going to line up with and align your morality with is part of what I hope is constant in this game. because to me that's fun and interesting. If it ever becomes annoying, you feel free to let me know. But there's an easy way around that, which is just decide who's the good guys and then go black and white on it. But
Yeah.
I
No.
think the not black and white is more interesting.
It is. It's,
It's
so
harder.
because as you were just saying that, was like brought me back to that day where Bottom was like, "There's still good or bad. There's just agenda, and whose agenda are we going to align ourselves to?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess my view on it is I would rather stumble blindly through that world than retract from it
Yeah.
and just stay in to keep,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, taking odd jobs,
right.
Right.
not really advancing the world in any way. Like I would like to
Slowly
see,
build your,
yeah.
your criminal syndicate.
Yeah. Well, even that would be, yeah.
Okay, so here's a different angle on this. If you could ask one of the other characters a question out of character now and get an answer that your character wouldn't necessarily know the answer to, like what are you curious about that might be going on in the heads or backgrounds of other characters at the table?
It's in character, but out of campaign. Or
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah, so like I could
That's poorly
I
asked,
could ask a
yeah.
question of Potom here
Mm-hmm.
that Air wouldn't get to know the answer to, but
But
you're
Thomas
like,
would,
I,
yeah.
I just like, what the hell was that? Or
Yeah.
how does what were they thinking there? Or,
Yeah.
you know, has there anything been like that floating around in your head, like you're just wondering what is actually up with this?
Sure. I guess. I mean, my first question is, well, I mean, your box.
What's in the
Yeah, what's
box?
in the box? Well,
What's
I mean,
in the
well,
box?
clearly it's
Why?
there's nothing in the box, but it's like a connection to some demon of some sort, or a witch, or
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's mystery to. I mean, Air doesn't know everything either. I think it's like being discovered.
does
as part of it.
Air know that?
Air knows a few basic things. She, without giving away too much, and not even because I'm giving it away, but because it's like not even solidified yet.
Sure.
Is she's a warlock, so she has a patron.
Right.
And she has gained access to this patron, or gained this connection to this patron, and she owes this patron a great deal of debt. And that's basically just how this has been working, is that she's been shoving money into this box because she owes a debt to this patron, and it has to do with and there's like maybe other events like in her life, but one of the main ones was just how she ended up escaping from her original town was through the help of this patron. And it's kind of maybe an abusive relationship, or like at least an exploitative relationship at least. But at times the patron, it's undeniable the patron gives her powers, or gives her power over others, or power in this world, and the
Yeah.
ability to act.
Does every warlock have a patron?
Every warlock does have a patron. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
The relationships are all very unique, which
Yeah.
is a really fun role playing.
and that's key too, is that Air doesn't have a name, or doesn't really know what this force is really.
Sure.
It's just a force.
Which is
Interesting.
also super unique.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun with this also, so I'm not going to answer a question here, but I will
Yeah.
tell all of you, I know exactly who your patron is. I've written the story of how this happened.
Yeah.
I know what is going to continue to happen in relation to this. There's a bunch of mechanics I built around it. Like,
Oh, great.
delightedly for me as a DM, Thomas gave me free reign early in this process to be like, I don't want to put a lot of shape around this. You kind of, here's my ideas, and then you tell me, reveal it to me as we go. And so I spent a lot of time, like, I know what and who and where this
Yeah.
this
I just thought-
entity is.
I just thought the hook was so good about how
So good. Yeah.
about how she's just like in debt to this mysterious.
Yeah.
She's gained legitimate powers, legitimate
Mhm.
abilities, but that she owes this nebulous debt to this nebulous being,
That's cool.
That
and
is cool.
creepy. I like it.
and she's not really sure when it ends.
Yeah,
If it ends.
I mean, like, I guess just my own experience with a warlock was Gabe had made mention of before Barnacle. It's like you get to just. I think that's awesome. I think leaving it open is definitely more fun. And if the Barnacle was created for a kids game,
Right.
And so it was just more fun to just be like, oh, she was born of a sea witch. She died in
Yeah.
in a sea wreck. See
That's
which-
cool too.
You
Actually.
see which took her, and she is literally a flesh-filled water balloon.
That's really cool too. Actually.
Yeah.
Some like Davy Jones.
Yeah, yeah.
sea
So I mean,
creature.
every
Yeah.
time that she, and she's really dumb. So because she was born yesterday, she brings that up all the time, even though there's me behind the character being like,
Yeah.
"Well, I don't know anything about this, but what we could do." I'm like, "Here, Gabe. Here's an idea of what we should do next." But I mean, it is. It's. I mean, it was. It's just really fun to play a warlock and be able to, come up with stuff. But to like leave it wide open, that's awesome.
It was very fun for me, and I'm very excited to
So it happens.
make things happen.
So
Can I ask
maybe
a
the
question?
sea
Yeah,
witch.
please ask a question.
I've been curious, and I may have just missed it, or maybe you're undecided, but if you want to go home, like if home is your ultimate, because I know you're very tribe,
I
right?
am
Like
very
those are your
tribe.
people, but they
Yeah.
also, did some shit. So I was like, are you wanting to go home?
I am deeply wanting to go home. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do that though, and not just the mechanics of it, but also like how do I want to be prepared, or what angle do I want to take, and what's my end game with going home too, because there's high stakes going
Right.
on in the politically speaking.
Gonna be like getting
I
the
know,
brothers
I
out? What
know.
is it?
I don't know.
She
Yeah.
needs to lead the pharaoh through 7 years of bumper crops and then
Right,
7 years of famine.
right.
Be put in
No.
a position of power.
I also like very much, a lot of my character, there's a lot of little things that I took from Gladiator,
Oh.
and,
Oh, sweet.
so
Oh, I didn't make that
like
connection.
with the getting like kidnapped and like on the ship, and then I end up in this place, and my little figurines. That's
Oh,
also
yeah.
It's
that's-
awesome.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, so like there's some parallels there, and just like how, but also in do I like where are my people going
Yeah.
to, where are
Yeah.
the people that are in the tribe, like what, so
You're their
there's a lot
princess.
like going around in there too, and I know, my like a lot of things that my brothers are trying to do, it's very nefarious, and it's not necessarily for the good of that, and I know that my father is aging, and what am I going to do? So it's a mix between Gladiator and Joseph and the Amazing Colored Dreamcoat.
Nice.
Oh, no, that's great. That's
You
really
know?
cool.
Yeah, I like the
Are you
idea
not
of how many
entertained?
Yeah.
possibilities there are for Freya's return.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she would be returning to a place where her enemies are essentially in the greatest seat of power,
Mhm.
right? So you're either returning at the head of an army, or you're returning with a
That's what
crew
I
of
picture.
incredibly powerful friends,
Mhm.
or you're returning maybe under cover of darkness, or
Assume that
building
they
a
don't see her,
secret
yeah.
uprising.
Yeah, or trickery of supplication, and then
There's so many ways,
Yeah.
right? There's so many paths here, but
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how she decides to play it
Yeah.
out. It feels like Freya has maybe the longest backstory game
Mm.
of anyone, right?
It's just
But
so
it
that
could
was
get
there.
but it could get close at any moment.
Yeah.
Right? You already ran into somebody who
Mhm.
is at least aware of things that are happening. It's less
Mm-hmm.
far away than it feels like
Yeah.
once you get to the mainland.
So and I think that Freya also has like a lot of growing up to do, and there, like, I think that she knows that she's not prepared to be able to do anything like that yet. So I
Yeah.
think this is
Yeah.
good, good experience for her, and I think also just trying to learn what she actually can do, or what she's capable of.
Right.
So
Yeah.
which,
Are we gonna ask why the heck Potem is even on this side of
Right.
the planet?
Yeah, I mean, again, without revealing everything, it's pretty clear that Potem has created something that he is trying desperately to.
Was he employed officially, or was this commandeered?
it was no. I mean, this is his creation. There is a partner that is assumed dead, and that he, at this point, there is his technology is out there, and he's trying to rein it back in. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, it's fully out there. So the idea is out there, and
it's supposed to be the technology is like a doomsday device of some sort.
yeah. Well, essentially, and you've already seen it. It's
Yeah.
I mean, it's a battery
bomb,
that
yeah,
that I mean can power
That's what it was.
wondrous things. It's at the heart of the exocomp.
Right.
It is his phaser, his shield, which we haven't seen the cool thing that his shield does yet.
But
But
it has like perilous like atomic energy or something. Right? At least that's the
yeah,
vibes I was given.
right. It has.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll call it a battery,
Yeah.
and that
Right.
it powers wondrous.
Is it
things.
magic?
It is.
Essentially, I mean,
Okay.
that it's magic that he can create using his tool, or
But-
that he has created using his.
But the
tools.
Empire's interest in it is destruction, right? Or did I completely
as
completely
far
make
as
this
he
up? Yeah.
as far as he
Power.
understands it, yeah, is that it is game changing power.
Oh.
Have you ever
That anybody who wields it, and I mean, and how they wield it, can, I mean, change the balance of power.
The real danger of a technology like Potham's is that it democratizes high level magic power. Tellus is a high magic world. So we've talked about before, like even your average 8-year-old can conjure a simple flame. Everybody here has got
Right.
very simple magic because this is a magic saturated world. But real magic, like the kind it takes to cast spells like some of you do, is relatively rare. Maybe 10% of the world's population can cast a spell the way that you all would a first level spell. And even
Beyond
a very
cantrips, yeah.
and even a very smaller percentage of that can ever achieve the heights of magical power required to cast a 5th or 6th level spell and do some of these kinds of things. It takes not only a lot of study and practice, but it takes a certain amount of potential. But what Potham has managed to create is a mechanical way to store that magical energy so that it can be channeled into a variety of devices. It's not radically different from some of the things that the Elden Empire has created. So like the street lights and things like that exist in Shukip are arcanist devices, right? They're powered on magical energy, basically substitute magic for electricity, right? But the ability to store a little bit of energy, in other words, to make a minor cantrip permanent like that, or keep it ongoing, keep the lights on in Shukip, or keep hot water in a noble's house, are vastly different than what Potham has created, right? He's created the ability to store high-level magical energy. So it's the difference between running...
A D battery and a nuclear power plant.
Yes, that's the idea. And so the risk of this that Potham is worried about has everything to do with the fact that if a government can, or someone of influence or resources can learn how to do this, they don't need to be a well-trained wizard. They don't need to have this power themselves. They just need someone to charge the batteries, and then they can use this anytime they want, wherever they want, to do whatever they want, as long as they can plug it into the right device. And so it's there. Some of the fear is actually like some of the anxiety that you've seen on the internet about like the robot dogs. You know what I'm talking about? What Boston Dynamics, the robots that look like
They move
Oh, yeah,
dogs.
yeah, sure.
They move organically and
Yeah.
They
And
look-
people are like, "Oh, that's so cool," and then right away somebody on the internet's like, "Yeah," until they put a gun on the back of it,
Right.
or it can shoot grenades, and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, like actually that's super scary. What if
Right.
that's a robot dog that is now going to police our streets, or
Right.
is going to be loosed on the battlefield and whatever?" And that's 100% the vision that Potham's worried about, is mechanical monstrosities who now take the place of armies, or, I mean, bombs are a thing too, but like the Great War in Tellus between the Elden Empire and the Kingdom of the Dwarves and some of the humans back on the other continent was hugely devastating. Killed literally millions, had a permanent impact on the landscape. It was the closest thing to a world war, and some technology similar to this, but not at the level that Potham has created, literally wiped out cities and created whole armies. And everyone would have a general knowledge of some of these like terrible history stories, but it's like the difference between World War I and World War II. Or in World War I, people were like, holy shit, mustard gas and tanks and machine guns. Like, what is this? War is terrible. And then World War II, we were like, just kidding. We had no
Look
idea.
how fast our
Right.
tanks can go now.
Right. Yeah.
They don't get trapped in those trenches anymore because they pop right
And
back
now
out.
we're
again.
doing fighter jets and atom bombs, and it's a whole
Right.
different thing. Like,
Right.
oh, that cute killing back in World War II, we got something slick now. So that's where the level of technology here, and the extent to which Potham decides to explain this to the party at some point, I think, is like how technical he gets is open. But from my view, that's like in the context of the world, that's what we're talking about.
And I sort of feel like he's already touched on it slightly. The whole like this could change power dynamics.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, but he hasn't really gone into depth on what it actually why the
Right.
power dynamic would
Right.
change and
And also, it's worth knowing that this is like if Oppenheimer wandered into your party and was like, there's a lot of stuff and you gotta look out and it's gonna be crazy. Where at the same time, like, not every nation in the world has their Oppenheimer. Like, if they just found the plans for this or his notes, turning that into something useful is an incredible
Endeavor,
task,
yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
just finding Potham's stuff doesn't mean you can complete the Manhattan Project
Right.
in a week,
Right.
but you've stumbled on the supply chain of evil, as I think we dubbed
Right.
it, which is clearly someone in the Elden Empire is trying to do that. Like, you essentially found evidence of the Manhattan Project in
It
the
works,
Elden
yeah.
Empire. They just suck at it so
and
far.
he's tucked it into his vest, and that is where it ended.
Yeah, right. Potham grabbed it and stuck it in his vest, and he was like, let's go sell some poop.
Yeah, I've got a great idea to get us some money.
I know this half outfood's trying to get some poop.
I know it was like 2 weeks ago that I took that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more question that I'm curious about. And if you don't have an exciting answer to this, it's okay, but I'm just curious. Is there any part of the campaign so far where you have thought, like, you knew what was about to happen, and then that super didn't happen? Like, in the story, I guess. So I'm curious about, obviously, selfishly, I'm curious about if the story has unraveled for you the way you maybe thought it was going to, or if there have been times where you're like, because you've surprised me a bunch, right? Where I'm like, okay, we're doing this now. But I'm curious if at any points you were like, oh, I see where this is going, and then you were like, oh no, that's not at all where we're going. I thought I
I
knew
haven't been confident in where we're going ever.
Okay, that was great.
Me either. I don't even know what's happening from one second to the next.
Nope.
So I just am kind of like, okay.
But I like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
very new to this game too, so
Yeah.
I
that's
guess
part of it.
I've sort of felt like there might be a little bit more leaning on the previous Tellus game. And after this year, I see that you've really tried to DS9 it. We're going to stand alone. We don't need them
No.
to get our viewing up.
And
Maybe I'll
like-
give you a little Oksana Troy.
And like DS9, I have a lot of that stuff in the hopper
Yeah.
for later,
Yep.
right? Because it might be in season 3, Worf is going to show up, or whatever, right? Like, I've got. This is the other reason I'm excited about the world getting bigger for you all, is because I wrote a lot of world before we ever started this.
Yeah.
And it exists in a different hemisphere.
Right.
So there's a
But
little bit
as
of
you grow in power and resources and access, like it's a long flight, but it is simply an airship's flight away for you to access all kinds of places I've long ago built.
and there is a little bit of me, I guess, and I'm not disappointed. I am excited to see those things again, just because I had so much fun playing Tellus. And I mean, and I know that there is one of my beloved characters out there in this world, and
Unless he's dead.
I mean,
I gotta roll
Unless
some
he's
dice.
not at this time. Not at this time. If we're going chronologically,
Yeah, I mean,
he's still very much alive.
I haven't quite lined up the timelines just yet to know exactly what's happened, but I will tell you the moment. So here's a fun maybe preview for season 2 of Nerd Church.
Subscribe now.
Subscribe now. Smash that like button.
Take a little bell for notifications.
So you don't miss any of our content.
I already know what the moment is that it will become obvious to you all that the timelines have lined up. And that's all I can really say about that. But the other party was building towards a big thing. And at some point, I believe that the big thing happens. And when the big thing happens, you will know it on this side of the world. You might not know what led to it or what happened over there, but everyone will know when the big thing happens. And so I'm excited about that. Okay.
Ooh, I think that there's one player that has been left out, and Pando, I feel like what you have kind of set up for your storyline, it was that you were connected with Lily, and that is pretty much in season 1 been resolved. That was like the one sort of thing that we can come out and pat ourselves on the back that we
did it.
Right.
We did it. We
Do
got
not
Lily.
kill Lily.
We got Lily to
Do
safety.
not kill Lily.
Things happen. I was gonna bring that up actually. I was like, wow, Lily is getting kind of the edit or like the what you would like trying to is what would happen if someone was writing it as a screenplay or something.
Right?
Like, oh yeah, when she dies, it's gonna destroy. You're gonna shed a tear.
So I guess my question for
Turns out it was Nips that just made you all weepy.
Oh man, I am so happy. I would be happy never to see that cat again.
is there something more for Pando, or I mean, like, do you have something else, a grand secret, or is there something else that will eventually reveal itself about Pando, or are you an open book now?
Yeah, so I
Serial
think
killer.
Pando
I knew it.
possibly. So Pando started
She's the
small,
traitor.
right? Like she started small and
Like this queen.
altruistic,
Yeah. now
and
she's big
had like
and
a very
altruistic.
specific task, and thought she was like saving the world through that task. And then she realized she didn't know shit. And so like all of this has just like exploded her sense of even like right and wrong, her sense of purpose. And so we had a session where we did some backstory stuff with Pando that I snuck into the remaining gift for you guys. So Pando I see as sort of not quite at the precipice yet of like figuring out like what the whole point of her existence is, but I see her, and I've sort of said this at different like decision making marks, like when she ripped out the throat of somebody, that like she's a little less stuck to the black and white idea of like right and wrong, and like tied to like the small people in her hometown, or the, not that the people are small, but like that trying to right size that ship of like the systemic issues there, and now she's just kind of looking at the world as a bigger space and being like, there's probably more that I could do as I'm getting more powerful and learning more.
Think about all the other Lilies.
All the other, it's true though, right? Or like seeing what you guys do, and she's just like mesmerized by these different skill sets. And so I think that Pando is just in a space where like kind of everything she knew is like this big compared to everything that she'll probably end up doing in
I
life.
like that.
Yeah.
I've never played a character that wasn't absolute good, absolute bad. And so this character is very fun to play. Because I'm not saying she's going to turn into a serial killer. I'm just saying the
It's a
world's wide open for
possibility.
Pando.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think that that's good, that's sort of where we've all been led to, like, forced into this morally gray area.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that does force character building.
It does.
So I am going to spend some time before our next session. I'm not really breaking this up into seasons, but I think I like the idea
kinda like
of
it.
this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be spending a little time thinking on a global scale, or at least government level scale, about things that will have moved
Yeah.
faction wise.
Mm-hmm.
And just to prepare you all, I think we're going to do a thing in the next session where you come back to Chukip, you tie up some loose ends, maybe we do a thing. There's another mission you can pick up if you want, right? I've got I prepped stuff just in case we flew through stuff.
The second kidnapping is gonna go so much better, guys.
Yeah,
Trust
it's gonna
me.
be really good. Kidnapping
Trust
number
me.
2 is going to be really... First one was a dress rehearsal.
Oh
Right.
my god.
But then I want you to start reflecting and thinking about I'm gonna intentionally build in an extended downtime. Not necessarily a break from us playing, because I want to keep playing with regularity. But there's gonna be a lull, a narrative lull in what you all are doing, and I want you to think about how your character would individually or how you collectively as a group would fill that downtime.
Okay.
Right? What will you do when we're not actively like, go on a mission, go do this thing, move on this, where would you be? What would you be investing time in? Right? So you could think about a long-term or a medium-term goal there, because what I visualize is we'll hit a narrative beat where the world kind of fast forwards, and then you come back into the story and have to react to the fact, like, you can tell me you've done some stuff, and while you were doing some stuff, the Empire did some stuff, and the Yokogawa did some stuff, and some other factions did some stuff. So I'm going to be thinking a little bit big picture about what that might look like, but that'll be at least a session or two away. But I think it's worth starting to reflect now about if you got to a moment of calm, how do you think your characters might spend those months, right? If it was like, hey, for 2 months the heat was kind of off and we didn't have a bunch of stuff to do, and Mach 2 wasn't like, I need you to do this.
It's spring break.
Yeah. Where would you invest, right?
Poop.
Just straight poop. Cool. Hey, this was really fun.
This
Yes.
is super
Thank
fun.
you for spending the day
Yeah.
and doing
This
this.
is awesome. Thank
I
you.
have to.
Do you mind
Go.
unplugging
Are
me
we
from that?